quarterfinals, winning game after game. The opposition has never been as heated, as fierce, both elite chess tournaments in the world.
Hello, and welcome to the St. Louis Archbishops' first playoff match in the Pro Chess League. Of course, we qualified straight to the quarterfinals thanks to our regular season performance. And today, we will actually be squaring off against the India Yogis. But why don't we take a look and see... Oh, yeah, of course, my name is Caleb Denby, and I'm joined by the wonderful Akobian.
Hey guys, hello everybody. Nice to be here, Caleb, with you. And
absolutely.
Let's take a look at the pairings.
I think we're going to look at the standings first,
okay.
See where everyone in the league sits. Of course, it's... the St. Louis Archbishops had an astounding regular season, finishing with the most points in the entire league, as well as, I believe, the highest performance rating in the entire league. So definitely, we're going to be the team to beat in this playoff season. We scored first place in the Western Division, and today you'll see we face the India Yogis from the Eastern Division, who placed third in their division. So definitely not... not a pushover team by any means, though.
Strong team. They got great players.
Great players.
And we'll take a look at the roster soon.
But why don't we actually take a look at where these teams from the regular season now sit in the playoff bracket? Yes. Of course, we already have seen the round of 8, or the round of however many that is, because of course it got a little bit strange with the first place team in each division getting to skip around in the playoffs. And we saw the Canada Chess Bras and the Chicago Wind both win their first playoff match. So those two teams, of course, from the Western Division as well. And then we saw the New York Marshals actually defeat the France Roosters to advance as well. And so what we see here is four teams.
That was actually, they tied, interestingly. They tied 8-8.
Yeah.
The better type, thanks to the tie break, they advanced.
Yeah, of course. They had the better regular season performance, so they got to advance. Yeah. So what we see now in the quarterfinals is actually 4 teams from the Western Division, that is our division, have already advanced. And so it'll be interesting to see. I guess we can't get the perfect Western Division in Norway, but we can get 3 out of 4, judging by the bracket.
And we have also the other side, we have China Pandas. They're beating against California Unicorns.
Yeah, of course, the China Pandas, formerly the Chengdu Pandas, one of our biggest rivals to look out for sure.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, today we have the St. Louis Archbishops squaring off against the India Yogis.
And they won their match against Norway 9-7.
Yeah.
So definitely a strong team. They have Shakhriyar Mamedyarov.
Shak Mamedyarov,
for
and
then they have Pentala Hari Krishna.
Yeah, maybe we can actually pull up the pairings. I don't know if we have them. Well, I can just read us our lineup, first of all. Here we go. So, of course, we have Fabiano Caruana playing board 1 for us, Leinier Dominguez, board 2, Wesley So, I believe, is board 3, and then Jeffery Xiong is our board 4. And then, conversely, for the India Yogis, you have Shak Mamedyarov, world-class player.
Definitely.
Not from India, but he is their one free agent.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are...
Hari Krishna is the second highest ranked player, about 2750.
Yeah, India stars, to be sure.
He's number 2, and then we have dangerous Adiban. I mean, he's about 26, 60, 80, but a very, very dangerous player.
Yeah, so well within the top 100.
If he has a good day, then he could be. And then they have Narayan, is another 2600 Grandmaster. I mean, definitely we're going to try to score a lot of points on the board 6. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Hari Krishna is actually the highest rated player in India, aside from, of course, Vishy Anand. Tough to beat Vishy, but Hari Krishna, a world-class player, and has been for some time now.
Absolutely.
So, of course, however, judging from the lineup, we are favored in almost every match. Except for against Shak Mamedyarov. Shak is actually higher rated than our bottom 3 boards for the moment, according to the pairings here. But yeah, Shak, his rating's up there these days. Of course, this is our star lineup. We have Jeffery Xiong, Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, Leinier Dominguez, and Wesley So.
And we have another very top 2700 player. We cannot fit all of them. We have also very strong blitz specialist, Le Quang Liam from Vietnam. Very, very strong player. But again, we can only put...
Yeah, you can only put 4 2700s in at a time.
If there were 5 boards, we would have more advantage.
Of course. And then here we have the format for the Pro Chess League. A few changes from last year, actually. The time controls are now 10 minutes with a 2-second increment. That's down from 15 minutes last year. You get 10 points for winning a match, and then that's added on to your match score as your total score for the match. Of course, now that this is the playoffs, all that matters is winning the match. And we do actually have draw odds in this match, thanks to our regular season performance. 24 teams were in the regular season, and now we are down to just 8, I believe.
Yeah, essentially doing really well in the regular season gave us a bye in the first round of the playoffs, and also gives us basically a half point advantage in this matches, because anytime we tie, we're going to advance. And that happened previously with Webster team.
Yeah, we had a really tough match
we had a tough match, and we tie with them, and we advance to the playoffs.
Well, I think the games are actually getting underway, so maybe we can check them out. And
so we'll start out with Fabiano's game.
I think we also still need to follow Jeffrey. I think he logged on a little bit late, so maybe we can find him here.
So, follow? Or?
Yeah, so /follow. Here, I got you. We'll just click over here.
Okay.
And we'll find the game.
Oh, that way, yeah.
Oh, actually, only 3 games are in progress so far.
Okay.
Maybe Jeffrey's game hasn't started yet. Okay. But let's just jump into the chess.
All right, so this is the game we have again. Big advantage we have on this board. We have Fabiano Caruana with black against Narayana, the 4th board. And
so of course, in the first round, your board 1 plays the other board 4.
Yeah, but we're black, and again, it's not easy for a 2800 to just go out there and beat a 2600 with black. It's not. So we see some Slav defense here, and Fabiano is trying to keep as many pieces on the board as possible. But I gotta tell you, Caleb, it's very solid position. It's not gonna be easy to crack this position for black, because and Fabiano needs to build some time, but not so easy. I mean, good opening choice by Narayan.
Yeah, white doesn't really seem to make too many weaknesses
This bishop
here.
bit passive on c8 as well, you know, so I don't know.
So that's probably why b6 was played.
Yeah, b6 to play bishop b7.
Yeah, bishop
what
b7,
else to do?
maybe even something like knight b4 and bishop a6 to get the bishop off the board.
Yes. So, again, Fabiano, he's very, very strong. When things get complicated, in complications, we always see that he can outcalculate his opponent. That's
definitely
one of the major strengths he has over his opponent, that he can calculate really, really well.
Yeah, and quickly as well, which
is
vital
huge.
to this time control.
This is only 10 minutes, so once you get down on the clock, you're gonna have to move on instincts.
Yeah.
So, and we see that he always tries to be ahead on the clock, put pressure on his opponents.
So I'm curious here. If white were to take on d5, would black capture with the e pawn?
Yeah, you must capture with the e pawn, because if you capture with the c pawn, then you're going to give this b5 square.
Yeah,
it's going to be a huge problem.
Seems difficult.
In fact, you're going to lose the exchange. Bishop b5 will win the rook on e8. So if capture occurs, Fabiano is going to take back with the e pawn for sure. And then he's going to probably prepare the c5 break at some point, like you mentioned. Maybe put the knight on b4, and then finally play the move c5.
So it seems like black does have some ideas here.
Yeah, it's not so clear even what white should do. White should play maybe f4, bishop f3, or maybe he should play bishop f3 right away. f4, it's always like weakens your position, so it's a little bit of a commitment. So I don't know if that's exactly what he should do. So he decided to capture. Okay, but this I think is okay for black, because now it opens up the rook.
The rook can breathe.
So
maybe knight d7.
Narayan is trying to play b4. He's trying to prepare the b4 break here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure it's a huge threat. I think black would be happy to take on b4 and put some pressure on the
a4 file.
pawn.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, but also, Caleb, the pawn is under attack, so it's a little bit more concrete than it is,
it'd be difficult.
He's attacking it. But what about the move c5? I'm wondering if Fabiano plays c5 here, you cannot capture the knight is hanging.
Right.
So bishop b5, rook e6.
Rook e6 immediately.
Rook e6 first.
I like that move. It makes a lot of sense.
f4, and I guess he can play c5 now.
Or maybe knight e4, just preparing.
So this is kind of hidden up here. We see some potential f5 coming up as well here. Both players spend about 2 minutes at the moment.
Yeah, f4 really gives away this e4 square. So I like Fabi just jumping in there right away.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
you saw the move, knight a2, and usually when a knight moves away from the center like that,
You want
that's
to take
when the other
advantage of it.
knight
Absolutely,
can
absolutely.
come in.
Knight move on a2, knight e4 comes in, taking advantage of the knight passive retreat, and now, at some point f6 is coming up. The question is, if white can play bishop g4 here, try to induce f5 and then
Right.
retreat. Then that way knight can be secured. So I would consider that actually. I would consider bishop g4, f5, and something like bishop f3 here. That way, at least I know my knight on e5 is going to be secured.
Yeah, so bishop
And
g4
that's what he does it, yeah.
is played.
f5,
And
bishop f3.
f5. No other choice, I think.
Yeah, no other choice because the dark square bishop is guarding a lot of squares as well. So
But maybe black can finally break through with c5 after bishop f3.
it's
I think this is
okay. That's why he
idea.
goes
Well, I think c5 is still playable.
c5.
Because you gain a tempo with the rook on f1 if you capture on a6 or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really interesting because c5, the only thing is white may play knight c3 back and try to put a knight on b5.
Okay.
That might be an idea. But then we can put our knight on b4. So
Yeah, it looks double-edged. And so bishop takes e5. I was actually thinking about this move, but I thought after f takes, the structure was pretty solid for white, and even g4 ideas could come.
yeah, I'm not sure. This is a big decision by Fabiano. So
That move kind of surprises me, actually. I
So,
didn't expect that.
Obviously, if you take back with the d pawn, then black will play c5. He's very
course,
happy. But
yeah.
this position, I don't know. It looks.
Yeah, there's g4 threats, I think, for white.
There is
to
some
come.
g4 at some point. Knight c3 is a very logical choice here.
Even a move like...
b4 needs to be considered.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, hopefully Fabiano has a good plan here because the decision he made is
Well, maybe he's simply trying to play something like queen g5.
queen g5,
and
but I'm
hit
thinking
the
about
e3
rook
pawn.
f4 maybe even.
Yeah, rook f4.
Or rook f3.
And
just
then maybe even knight c7 coming into e6.
That's what he wants to do. Okay. And then probably white should play knight c3 and try to trade that knight off the board.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I'm not so sure. There's always things like c5, and is knight takes e4 the worst thing ever? Maybe I'll take back with the d pawn, actually. No, well then, sorry, bishop e... Well, if I play knight c7 and then take back with the d pawn, maybe I
Queen
can put
g5
this
is
knight,
played.
put this knight on d5.
Knight e6. Knight is coming to e6 as we predicted it. So knight c3, trying to trade a strong knight off the board.
So you might even take this knight with black, I think, just to prevent any change to your structure. Because I think
Anything
black
opening up
structure
the
is
position. Okay,
nice.
because if knight e4 is played, you take with a pawn, then bishop c4 is unpleasant.
Yeah.
If you take with the f pawn.
So yeah, Fabi does capture. And then I'm expecting like rook e8 here. Just
Putting
get this
a knight
knight to
on
e6. There, it controls f4,
This
it controls
bishop
the
on
c5
d6
square.
looks so strong, Caleb. The bishop on d6.
Ah, fair enough. But I don't know. I like this knight. It keeps everything together. It keeps everything solid. And then eventually, I think black's going to play f4 to break things open. Then the knight on e6 actually eyes a weakness on d4.
No, knight on e6 is absolutely, it's a fantastically placed knight. It's very well placed. I do think that bishop on d6 is going to cause a lot of problems because it takes the f8 square, takes the b8 square. I would play bishop d6 here without any hesitation. Knight e6, I would just drop the rook back to f2 or something like that.
Luckily for white, the rook on c3 is already doing a great job of defending the a3 weakness. I think black's other problem here is actually this light-scored bishop. That's the last kind of problem you have to solve.
And you're a little bit tied up to c6 because you can't just play bishop a6 to get rid of it. So it has to be some preparatory work needs to be done.
Yeah, maybe the c5 move is what needs to come through. Yeah.
Or c5 move.
Maybe after rook c8 as well, just to keep everything
So
defended.
we got Jeffrey is playing as well. We got Jeffrey here.
So
Should
Jeffrey's
we just
game
click
is online. Yeah, so you can click that, and then we can follow him.
All right. So let's take a look at. So we can look at. Since we're on this game, we can look at this. So this is Jeffrey playing against Mamedyarov here. So Jeffrey played d4, opted for more solid setup. So we have.
I don't know what that is. Let's just.
Yeah.
We're good. We're moving on.
So we have like a very solid position for Jeffrey. So he's. Aiming to play some really position. I think it's a good strategy. Shak is a dangerous player.
Yeah.
So I think even a draw in this matchup, it favors us.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah, so
you see kind of the one open file in the center of the board usually kind of signifies major pieces are going to get traded off.
Yeah,
And,
I would probably play f3 here.
Yeah, just solidify everything.
F3
the bishop
and,
can drop back to F2.
Bishop F2 if needed, or bishop A6, trade the light square bishops.
Yeah.
So I would really consider that. I like Jeffrey's position. I think he's at least if not slightly better, it's just very, very solid.
Yeah, I don't like it for trying to win, but we don't need to beat Shakhmatyarov to win the match.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at other matchups here. I see there's some disadvantage we have on this board here.
Wow, there's a king on F5.
Ooh, this I don't like it. What's going on here? This is the game. Oh wait. Sorry, I like this. This is
Wesley's white. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it looks like this king really just got drawn
let's just
out.
see what happens. So it was a French defense opening that I know a little bit. I played for a long time.
Yeah.
So French defense. We have the Rubinstein variation. But yeah, Wesley is very strong in this position. So I actually faced him a few times and didn't go quite well for me. So this is all theory.
So wow, yeah, white kind of gains control over every light square on
and
that
now
A4,
if take
E8
Queen
diagonal.
A4, he wants to play. Bishop A5 attacking the Queen. Queen C8.
It's a rather
I guess
mean
if you
move.
play B6, bishop drops back to C3.
If B6, I think you can just
Maybe
take.
we'll take.
Yeah.
And then A8 is hanging. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, but this means something went wrong for Hare Krishna. This looks.
Oh wow, D5. That's
King
probably
E8. My goodness.
probably the move.
No, something went wrong here.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he missed D5 in response to F6.
Yeah, no,
That
this
just looks
cannot be.
terrible.
This cannot be right. Yeah, this is just.
All right. Yeah, now it is an endgame, so the black king probably isn't going to get checkmated.
this is
but
just lost
yeah,
position,
I mean, the white
basically.
pieces are just way too active
No,
here.
this is just lost, and great start by Wesley here, completely getting a crushing position against Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
F5
Wesley
is coming up.
actually, I think has been performing the best out of all the archbishops on the roster this year.
Yeah.
And I think F4 is threatening now F5.
F5, yeah.
And if the king drops back to F7, then
D7.
after Rook D7, King G8, and then the Rook on H8 will be out of the
think
game.
Hare Krishna can, safely resign soon.
Notice that none of the black pieces can develop.
Yeah, nothing
you can't
can
develop the
move.
rook, you can't develop the bishop, and all of the white pieces are just
This is
crashing.
great. This is great. This is great. So let's take a look now. We have Leinier Dominguez against Adiban. One thing with Leinier, he gets down to the clock,
Yeah, Leinier, he
That's-
likes to take his time.
That's what we have noticed in his game, but he plays tremendously well under time pressure.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing him at the first Rapid and Blitz that he played. He's got 2 seconds on the clock, and
And
he's
he plays the whole
cool,
game.
professional. He just gets it done.
So we have a Catalan here against strong Adiban. They call him the Beast.
the Beast.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of a standard stuff here. 95. This I think this all played before. Bishop D2. The reason you can play 95 if capture occurs, you can take back with a pawn and C4
the
is
pin
hanging.
on
Yeah.
the C4 will
So
get the piece
bishop
back.
F8.
Now the B4 square. I always like putting this knight on this B4 square. It's
Now
Just feels
B5.
good.
So you cannot capture because pawn will take back, and then C3 is hanging.
ooh.
So the question is, what is Adiban gonna do? Because next is we're gonna capture and attack the
this
queen.
maybe this was just another missed move. It looks like things are kind of falling apart for the India Yogis early on here, especially on these two boards at least.
On these two boards, yeah, I think we see a clear advantage for archbishops for our team.
Of course, yeah. So tactically, you cannot capture on B5 due to how many pieces white has hanging, and you can't move the knight away because then B takes A4 hits the queen, and then you can simply win. I think 2 pawns very safely, which is just
So now you
dominating.
take on A4.
Yeah, you take on A4.
I guess
and
he's
you
gonna go
take on
queen B2 and just try to play down a pawn. But
Yeah, maybe there's even queen B2 A3. This A3 move
A3
looks
and
dangerous.
if queen takes, we have knight C2, and if
Yeah,
rook takes,
if rook takes, maybe
Like take.
you can that
and then knight D3. No, I mean,
Something like that.
this
It's
is
just
definitely
everything's
went
crumbling.
wrong for Adiban here, and Leinier Dominguez is taking over the game here for sure.
I
for
think
sure.
A3 is a really nasty move actually.
Yeah, I think it might just win exchange.
But then I mean, what else do you do?
Queen H5.
Queen H5. Oh,
Okay.
so he made a threat.
So he,
But perhaps G6 is safe enough.
yeah, he's attacking F7.
So
So if
okay,
G6,
so
he's
probably-
gonna go what? Queen F3?
I imagine so. But maybe at the end of the day, we just take E5 and play Queen C7, and then we can take that pawn on E5 off the board.
I'm thinking about actually taking on e5, pawn takes, and potentially even sacrificing the queen.
Give the queen up.
A
takes. Yeah.
Takes because we have knight c2 coming up.
Knight c2.
I mean,
it's a lot.
It's
a lot.
I don't know if we
2 minutes on the clock.
It's probably not going to happen. But I mean,
it's definitely with these pawns.
Well,
so
another
far
option is you can just play g6, Caleb. G6, queen f3, right?
Yeah.
Just take on e5. Take on e5. Go queen c7. I mean, e5 is hanging.
Yeah, that's
knight
what I was
c2.
thinking.
Knight c2 is on top.
Breaking news: Wesley has actually converted his game as we expected.
My goodness.
The king comes out to g4.
This is just a fantastic game here.
That's the first win for the Archbishops. I think something we missed at the top of the show is predictions. Var, I think you were saying
10-6. My prediction for, of course, Archbishops.
Yeah.
That's I think,
So you think we're going to go +1 in every round?
Basically.
On average.
Or on average, +1, +2. I think it's they're going to try to put up a good fight, but I think we just our lineup is just very strong.
Yeah, I think
very strong.
I think you can definitely expect I think 2.5 points from Shock on the India Yogis.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be, I think, where they need to score their points. So why don't we see what Shock is doing against Jeffery here?
Again, they got this position. I like what Jeffery is doing. It's just completely neutralizing Shaq here, and Shaq is still slightly worse,
Yeah.
If anybody's pushing him, it's Jeffery here.
This knight on e3 is actually really well placed.
Yeah, knight on f6 is misplayed. There's a little looseness there. The c6 is a little loose. e5 is loose.
The bishop on g7 doesn't make a good
it's probably
going to
be a draw here, but that's fine. We'll take a draw in our board 4 against their board 1.
Absolutely.
We'll take a draw in this matchup. So what I want to see really quickly what's going on in the Fabiano's game, because this is the one I'm was a bit concerned earlier. So let's just see where we left off here. This knight was about to reach e6. So
yeah, bishop
rook
d6
f2 was played. We
F2.
expected that. So bishop
f3,
f3, queen h4.
Now there's some pressure on d5 to look out for.
Yeah, so now g3, bishop g2. Now Fabiano is still pushing.
Yeah, it launched an h-pawn.
Queen g3.
The queens come off the board.
Queens come off the board, and now b4 is...
so b5.
Well,
I think Fabi is kind of scrambling for some resources here.
He's still trying to maybe look for a win, but it's difficult. So b4
I think he's just trying to kind of hold on at this point.
Yeah, for sure. h4, 96.
Yeah, interesting.
Wait,
he's
what about
not
bishop f1 here.
Interesting. He's not.
I would be worried about bishop f1 here. Bishop f1, and he cannot take. The a6 is hanging.
That looks slightly problematic. Maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So he just found his own tactic.
Okay, but this is.
Yeah. I think maybe
counterplay. Yeah.
Bishop f1. I thought Fabi might be relying on rook h8 there. Just take the h pawn, and then everything kind of liquidates. I don't know.
Still very unpleasant. King f2. And if you take, then I take on b5.
Right.
I mean
the pin.
So basically, white won a pawn here, but white wins a pawn here, but
I think the pawn on h4 isn't going to
h4.
survive.
The knight on e6 is very strong, so we expect Fabi to make a draw here.
Yes.
Hopefully he.
Which from our board 1 against their board 4 isn't ideal, but from the position, I think a draw
we'll take a
is
draw
the most
here.
we can hope
The
for.
key is not to lose.
Maybe rook c4, I think, is already just picking up.
Rook c4, bishop c5.
Then knight e6.
96, something like that. There's still, it's not that easy yet, but it's still, I think.
Yeah, you just have to really keep an eye on this e5 pawn. This is White's
it's
big
important to get that h4 pawn. I like this move, rook c3.
Rook c3 keeps the king out of
cuts
the
him
third
off.
rank. Yeah.
It cuts him off.
Now maybe rook d3 rather than rook c4, and you're still putting pressure on the pawns, and you're not allowing the king to step to the third
check,
rank.
king h6, bishop f8, king h5.
Yeah, I don't think you want to push the black king up the board here.
So
yeah, not the easiest endgame for either side, I think, but
okay, Fabiano is building some time advantage, so should be able to. So let's quickly look to see how Dominguez game developed here. So after knight h5, he decided not to play g6 and just take right away.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see g6 first. I think
yeah,
f3 is a worse square.
Queen is misplaced on f3. Yeah, I would have liked to see that as well, actually. So, but he played queen c7, knight a4 by Adiban, c5. I guess there is a bishop b6 here, so you cannot play knight to c2 right away. So you played c5, now threatening knight c2, knight d3, and so we see some liquidations.
Things coming off the board now.
So, yeah. So we see some liquidations here. Looks like both players have about a minute each. It's about equal here. I don't see any problems here for Leinier. So we'll probably take a draw here.
Maybe Leinier should have had more in this game.
I think so. I think this moment g6 seems. It feels like g6 maybe pushing him back.
Yeah,
he didn't want to
sure
weaken the
what,
f6 square perhaps, but I don't think there was a big issue.
Yeah,
there,
I mean with the knight on e5 coming off the board anyways,
yeah.
then f6.
There's
is
no
tough
way
to
knight
so.
is reaching f6. You know. So. And here, perhaps he was counting on knight c2, maybe, but there's bishop b6. All right, so let's see what's so bishop a4, knight g4, knight d3.
And yeah, I don't actually hate the knight in this endgame. There's still is this one pawn on the queen side, but black's pawn is on a dark square, and so the white bishop will be in a more defensive role.
Yeah, well, the key in this position is to try to, of course, win the a pawn.
Yeah.
A4 pawn is weak, so I think he's going to try to play maybe. Well, if you play knight c4, then there's a rook c3. So maybe you play rook c1 check,
and then knight c4, and then.
But then king f2.
Yeah, and then knight c4.
c4, then maybe a check on d8, king e7, rook c8.
So I think their worst case you can even play
d7.
knight b2, I think, and you can just. If rook takes a5, then rook a1, and I think you get the pawn.
Yeah. I mean, black is very solid here.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think black is the only one who can. I mean, one thing you want to avoid is trading rooks.
Yeah.
If you trade rooks and give the king the corridor, then yeah. But
in the pure minor piece endgame, the bishop really shines more than the knight here.
I would just play here. Wait.
I like king e7. Just keep the rook out of the game.
I like that as well.
And then if rook b3, I can actually play rook b2.
You play knight b6 here. Like he wants to take the pawn.
That move is really nice because it guards the a8
square. It
square.
guards the a8 square, yeah.
So there's no rook d8 to a8 maneuver anymore.
Yeah.
So now, notably, they're down to their final seconds here. White must find some way to defend this a pawn. He doesn't. He just allows black to take.
This is a problem. Maybe it's a draw now.
Well, hold on. Can you just play king e8,
you
king
needed
d7?
maybe g6, you know?
King e8, king d7?
King e8.
What's stopping the king from going to d7, though?
He did that. He did that, and...
See, king d7 here, I think, is
king d7.
stopping the draw. Oh, he just accepts the draw. Fair enough.
Perhaps king d7, he will go rook f8.
And then king e7.
King 7, then rook a8.
And then rook c5,
and then start checking.
Okay.
And then start checking.
Well, I think a draw is a fair result.
Draw is fine.
So why don't we...
we have to look at Fabiano's game.
So Fabi is now finding himself down a pawn in a rook endgame, but I don't think there's any way black is actually losing this game.
No, this is just
I think, in fact, black is trying to win.
Yeah, no,
which I don't know if it's the best idea to try to win this position, but I don't think Fabi can lose.
Yeah, no, just
you can even take the d4 pawn, then rook e3 is guarding this e pawn just in time.
So it looks like we're up one, and it's just got to make sure Jeffery holds, you know? Or you know, maybe wins.
So rook e3 I think is pretty much unstoppable here for Fabi to catch this e pawn, stop it in its tracks.
Yeah, this should be a draw. White is still thinking. I guess he's considering rook f3 or something. But
yeah,
rook f3 will be met by even rook e8.
I think rook f4 check is kind of a funny winning try because king e5 I think is a losing move in that case.
Yeah. Okay, draw is occurred, and now we just have one game remaining. So let's see here. What do we got here? What do we have here?
Looks like Jeffery, as we were expecting, is the only one who could press here. Knight f5 is a nice square.
Did Jeffery just trick Mamedyanov? Did he just miss knight f5? This is very strong.
So, I didn't quite realize at first, but Jeffery's winning the pair of bishops, it looks like.
Yeah, at least winning the pair of the bishops. If you take on f2, knight d6 wins a piece. If you take with the bishop, bishop c5, that's a really troublesome. Then everything is Going to be hanging. If you take with knight f5, just bishop takes f5. Yeah, this is really bad. Bishop b6 coming takes. I think Jeffery is just winning.
So maybe Shock has to actually play bishop takes f5, bishop takes c5, and then knight b7. Just
Yeah, but then at least bishop e7. Bishop e7. Pick up the g5 pawn. Or
yeah.
Well, I guess bishop e7. You have bishop e6 maybe. Bishop e6. Okay, I will trade on e6. I don't even have to.
Oh wow. So I missed this move entirely,
Okay,
actually.
but this is just.
But now knight h6 picks up the f7 pawn.
Then he's going to take on f2, play knight c5.
Yeah, bishop
c4.
c4, and then both e5 and g5 are.
But then he goes
there.
king f6. You know, it's not like it's still not super clear. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe he needs to play like bishop g3. Yeah, I was just going to say.
It's a nice move.
G3 takes. Okay, now the question is.
I think g takes makes more logical sense to me.
Okay, bishop. He's going to go bishop d6, trying to put a knight on c5.
Yeah. So I mean, with the two bishops though, Jeffery should be doing quite well.
Yeah, no, I mean there is no any risk for him in this position. Just the question is, we felt like maybe he was. Check.
So. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. This knight b7 was a very clever defense.
Yeah.
Okay, bishop
so he takes
d6,
with the e pawn actually.
Bishop c2.
Interesting.
Okay, but
So
now
yeah, bishop c2 prepares
c5.
for knight c5.
Okay, this is just a draw now.
Yeah, there's no entrance for the king, which is why I wanted to take with the g pawn. I thought maybe we can put this king on g4 and.
But probably
make some
king
threats
stays
to
on
h5.
g7, and that's also probably going to be a draw.
Yeah, and there's no way to evict
inserted
the king.
f6 maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking, but I think black's just in time to deal with this threat.
Yeah, probably just.
Like there's knight c5 and then knight d7. I think would pick up the f6 pawn.
So he wins a pawn, but it's just a draw. King stays on c5.
Yeah.
And it's very important that king is on c5 because if king had actually reached b5, then you have the c4 plan.
Yeah.
Some ideas, but this is just
nothing to be done now. Also, notably, Fabiano's game did end in a draw as we expected.
So +1, we get 2.5 points again. Magic number is 8 for us. 8 just wins.
All right.
So if we tie the match, we're winning. So +1. Some chances here for Jeffery, and I think some chances for Leinier.
Yeah, I think Fabi was the only one kind of under pressure.
Fabi was under pressure. I think somewhere here
handled it pretty well. Yeah, I think Leinier maybe missed some kind of.
I really like your suggestion of King E7 here. I think it's just such a nice move.
Keep the rook out. Maybe.
But Rook B3 maybe.
Yeah, Rook B3. I was thinking that like Rook B2, but I don't know. In the minor piece endgame now, Black's king is very close to the center, but you have to keep an eye on.
But this pawn on
Bishop
E5
E8.
is restricting. So, okay, I think Black was maybe slightly better. Another idea that now I'm thinking about it, maybe it would have been G5 here.
Yeah, G5
to provoke some weaknesses. Okay. G5 takes knight E5, and if not, take on F4.
Yeah, even F6 could make like a passed pawn.
I like this G5 because we will create a weakness. In fact, F4 would be weak. Like later on, we move the knight and Rook C4, and things would start hanging.
Okay.
So I think.
Yeah, I mean G5. Of course, the problem in the game was the black king had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so it gives you the G7 square as well.
In fact, Leinier won the pawn, but he really needed to have the G pawn so he can tuck in his king nicely on G7 here. But he never had the time. So he had some chances here. But again, it's a good score. We'll take 2.5 every match.
Absolutely.
Every match we'll take 2.5 to get to that, magic number 8 that we need to advance here because we have a better tie breaks.
All right.
So,
why don't we?
Do we have the pairings for round 2?
I think we're working on getting it up in just a moment here.
Perfect.
So what happened in this French for Hare Krishna? Where did it all go wrong?
I stopped playing that line for a long time ago. I don't know. I think Hari just didn't know what was going on, and I've tried it a few times. It seems like you're always under pressure. One of my last games against Wesley didn't go really well in the U.S. Championship, so I lost like in 25 moves.
Interesting, yeah.
Playing this, so I stopped playing the Rubinstein. It's just passive a little bit.
All of a sudden,
as far as I remember here, Caleb, you're supposed to go knight b6 here.
that would make sense, because in the game, white kind of just took over this a4, e8
As far as I remember, the
That's-
theory is knight b6, they take on c5, bishop c5, b4, bishop e7, e5, c5, sorry, c5, knight d5. Okay, so knight e5 there. You have to put the queen on c7. There's a queen a4 check. You end up actually going king f8 there.
Okay. But, you know, of course in the game, the bishop was undeveloped, so that
no, I mean, but that's like
wasn't
10
there.
times better what happened in the game. But knight f6 might be just a losing move here.
Yeah, it just allows this queen a4 business,
I
and
think he
then
just-
bishop a5 was a really nice finesse.
Yeah, I think
from,
he just
Wesley.
he cannot take because queen f4 check
Yeah,
and long castle, so it's
and it's over. Yeah,
yeah, this is just really bad.
it's devastating. And then
Yeah, king is just getting mated here basically.
yeah, f5 keeps the king out, and then the rook. It's so bad.
And now rook h3 h4 mate cannot be stopped. Yeah, this was a wonderful game.
All right, so off to a good start for
2.5,
Wesley
1.5.
So.
Yeah, 2.5, 1.5 for archbishops.
Why don't we pull up the results from round one and see how it all worked out? So, of course, the archbishops are at 2.5 to the India Yogis 1.5. That one extra point came from Grandmaster Wesley So in that game we were just looking at against Pantala Harikrishna. Jeffery Xiong, our board 4, managed to draw the astounding Shak Mamedyarov, board 1 for the India Yogis. Abidan has drawn Leinier Dominguez, and Naranjan has drawn Fabiano Caruana as well.
So we could say the bottom boards did well for India in this match.
Yeah, and actually,
round.
well, the bottom boards on both sides did pretty all right.
Pretty good, yeah.
Of course, I think Wesley is either. I think Wesley's actually our board 3. So, believe it or not, our board 3 upset their board 2 in the first round, if you can call it an upset.
So the next round I think is really critical because you know, if we can score another plus, that will give us a huge.
Yeah, round 1 kind of sets the tone, but then round 2, if you know the India Yogis actually go minus in the first 2 rounds, then I feel like that's very disheartening.
It's going to be very difficult to come back, you know. So they need to at least try to win this match or tie this match to stay with us. Otherwise,
But,
you know, if we,
I mean, the question is always, where are those points going to come from as we look at the
let's take a look
pairings?
here. Fabiano White against Aliban.
I don't think they're scoring their points there.
Leinier White against Narayan.
Tough
Again.
to score points there as well.
Mamedyarov
But,
White against Wesley.
yeah,
Maybe they're gonna
maybe
they're
Shak
gonna
can
hope
have
Shak
a good game.
can have a good day and press, and then Hari Krishna with White against Jeffrey. That's a close matchup as well. So I think definitely they're hoping this might be the matchups.
Yeah,
on,
I think
on they can
it's-
score some points, and maybe their 3 and 4 can somehow hold. You know.
I think it's going to be the classic strategy, you know, draw with black and win with white. If they can pull that off, then they have a really solid chance
Absolutely.
at getting back into
I
this
think
match.
this is a huge round. This round 2 is
Yeah.
going to dictate what's going to happen here.
Notably for the archbishops, something I've found is as we approach the later rounds, that's when you know, the top boards play the top boards and the lower boards play the lower boards. That's really when the archbishops excel. You know, we in this head-to-head matchup where things are, you know, kind of the most even, the most fair. That's when the advantage really leans in our favor.
Absolutely.
So I think these early rounds are where India needs to be scoring these points.
Yeah, definitely. They have a very strong lineup. You know, they definitely came up with a very, very strong lineup. Indian Yogis
Absolutely.
here, so it's you know, definitely a challenging team here.
All right. Well, once again, let's take a look at the playoff bracket. Of course, we are in the bottom right with the India Yogis playing to advance to the semifinals. Of course, the winner of this match goes to Norway. If we win against the India Yogis, the final 4 will take place, later in May.
Do we know the results for the China and Bears? Because I think they played yesterday, right? So March 9.
Let's see what we've got.
March 9, I think they played.
It looks like the China Pandas did defeat the Germany Bears,
Oh, they did.
9.5 to 6.5. So the Pandas are in for the final 4.
So Pandas are in. They punched their tickets for Oslo, 9.5. Very strong team. And
yeah,
they-
definitely.
very, very strong team.
And
Very
of course, the Germany Bears actually won their division, so it's a little bit of an upset for the China
Yeah.
Pandas to defeat Germany. Of course,
in
Germany.
China Pandas, they finished 4th.
Yeah, so they just barely qualified for these playoffs, but they're making a good show of it here, defeating the California Unicorns and now the Germany Bears as well. Germany, very strong players like Jörg Meyer on that team, other notable names.
And the score was 9.5. Yeah,
9.5 to 6.5. That is correct.
So Pandas are the first team to reach the finals.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Unfortunately for them, they find themselves on the same side of the bracket as us. So they will not be seeing their chances survive for too long, I think. All right, we're just waiting for the next round to get underway at this point.
Yeah, we have solid 3 draws in this round.
Yeah, 3 draws, 1 win, keeping it safe.
Keeping that plus score, you know, that's what we need.
Yeah, in these matches, of course, it's very important not to give up those full points. You know, if you're on board 4 and you have like a worse position, it's really important to really like hold the position, because giving up half points, not so bad. Giving up a full point, that's when it becomes very difficult to get an advantage in a round.
Absolutely. We're waiting for the next. The games will start automatically? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So why don't we show the good people how to follow the games for themselves on chess.com. Turns out, in the chess.com chat, if you click down where it says message, right down here,
Yeah.
right there, if you type / I'll let you do it, Var, I trust you, slash,
yeah.
Yeah, and now follow,
Okay, /follow.
just like that, space, hashtag, can you find the pound sign?
Yeah, here we go.
Difficult, PCL.
PCL.
That's the one.
Pro Chess League.
Pro Chess League. Now hit enter.
Hit enter.
And bam, you should be following everybody you need to be following.
Wow.
All right, and so now all the games will show up automatically. You can do this at home for yourselves. Make sure you follow the games that interest you the most. Of course, we'll be trying to keep an eye on all of them as they happen. But you know, if one game interests you more than others, then you're free
Absolutely.
to look at
We're
that yourself.
about to see the round 2.
Yeah, coming up will be round 2. Do we have the? Well, I guess we already looked at the pairings, huh?
Yeah.
Why don't we take a look at the St. Louis Archbishops' full roster, see who else we've got. Of course, you know, we're playing 4 of our top players. Also notably, our free agent, Liam Lee, is on there as well. He's done quite well for us so far in the regular season. He doesn't make his appearance in the playoffs just yet, but perhaps we'll see more of him later. Benjamin Bach, of course, a SLU student in the St. Louis area. He's just played one round for us, but got a solid 2 points.
2 points out of 4.
All the way down there, one of the strongest international masters in the world, Nicholas Theodorou, has also played for us, and he actually went +1 on board 4. Of course, you also see, you know, our notable players from past years. Julian Proleko, the hero of the Final Four, I think, last year.
Yeah.
Josh Bloomer, of course, another regular on the Archbishops. And actually, Var, I believe you're on there as well.
Yeah, I haven't played yet, but yeah. But the team is doing great. So we have some games now.
Yeah,
we have
the games
some moves
are
now.
started.
So we have the matchup of Fabiano White against Adiban.
Yeah, and we see
English.
the English. I don't think this is something I've seen from Fabi so far in the Pro Chess League. This looks like some new stuff from him.
So, yeah, this is a huge game, and Adiban needs to really play his best here to give his team chances here. So A5 play.
So yeah, I've never really liked these early bishop b4 lines for black. They just feel slightly unnatural, putting this bishop all the way out
Tempo,
here.
yeah, losing the tempos.
And now white develops the knight with the threat to the e5 pawn. d6 is played.
Yeah, d6. And a3, so bishop goes to c5, e3, preparing some d4 options.
Yeah, you see all these tempi getting lost against this bishop.
Yeah, a lot of tempis.
Yeah, first a3 hitting the bishop, and now this pawn will come to d4 with tempo as well. And the bishop will have to retreat all the way back to e7. So in preparation for this, we see c6 kicking the knight back, and now simply knight bd7.
Knight bd7, d4, as expected. And now the question is...
Yeah, there's some central tension here, but I don't think either player really wants to break it just yet. Probably bishop e2. Just
bishop e2, castle.
Yeah,
that's
get
an
castled,
option.
get everything developed.
Bishop d3, a little bit more aggressive approach by Fabiano.
Yeah, I guess he's not so worried about the opening of the e-file, because this knight on g8 isn't yet developed. So yeah, now knight f6, I think taking on d4 might be a threat, so white castles. And the question is, will black try to break through with d5 at some point? And how do you get this bishop on c8 developed? This is a very common problem piece. So what do we see from Fabi here?
Okay, let's see here. The move that comes to mind is b4, actually.
Yeah.
b4, bishop b2 is one idea that I think he can do.
Yeah, already he does go for it. I think, yeah, now's a good time for b4 because the opening of the a file would be...
So we have to watch out for the e4, so I'm thinking maybe play queen c2 now.
Oh, bishop c2 instead? So trying to provoke e4, perhaps.
Yeah.
I was going to say the opening of the a file would be really bad for black at this moment because this bishop on c8 kind of cuts the major pieces in half.
Yes. Okay, so you prefer bishop c2. I wonder if there was anything wrong with queen c2. Probably, I cannot see anything right away. So if e5 is played, Fabiano wants to play knight d2, I guess.
Yeah, I like knight d2. You can also play a move like f3 once this pawn lands on e4, and opening the f file could be pretty advantageous.
Yeah, so if let's say d5,
so bishop b8. So putting some pressure on this a file now.
Threatening now to take on b4 as well.
Yeah, I like the move b5 for Fabi here. I think b5 gets a lot of space.
The only thing with b5 is I'm just thinking maybe if e4 is played, knight...
Yeah, e4, knight d2?
I'm worried about this bishop opening up, you know, like e4, knight d2, d5, and then we have to deal with this diagonal.
Yeah, understandably, but I think f3 is going to be a good response to e4 in pretty much every case. And then you can recapture any number of ways, with the knight, with the queen.
Yes. Okay,
so take on e5. This might be actually aimed at preventing this move e4. It keeps this bishop on b8 a little bit stuck behind its own pawns. So do you ever play e4 here as white, just to lock this bishop up entirely? Then you can play a move like c5 and bishop b3, and kind of play against this dark squared bishop.
Takes back.
Alright, we see a trade on a1. I think I like queen... Oh, so bishop takes. I think I liked queen takes a1. Get the queen off this open file, and you can bring a rook to d1 then to challenge this black queen. But takes with the bishop instead. Okay, that hits the b4 pawn.
Yeah. Now the b4 pawn is under attack, perhaps to play c5.
Yeah, now I'm not so sure though. I think black is getting this move e4 in after all, which I would have liked to prevent if at all possible.
Oh, you mean like e4 and then maybe some queen e5 ideas?
Yeah, looks slightly dangerous, I think. So how do you defend b4 if you play c5 and let's say...
I'm thinking about queen b1.
Yeah, queen b1 makes a lot of sense
but then
too, puts
e4,
pressure.
Yeah?
I think e4 in response to anything here. In response to anything.
e4, and then we have to watch out for some potential bishop h2 sacrifices as well.
Yes, sacrifices.
The Greek gift sacrifice, right?
Yeah, even there's ideas like knight g4, knight h2, and then knight f3. This is an idea I've seen once or twice before, but it probably doesn't work immediately because the white knight would still be guarding f3.
Yeah,
but
what was this
dangerous
last
ideas.
move? So somehow...
Bishop b2. I think this is the one that I didn't quite gel with me.
Also, this bishop... No, I'm going back to this move, bishop d3. You know, it seems like maybe this bishop d3 here perhaps was slightly inaccurate because it forced you to move again, you know? And we don't really want to do that in the opening.
You like this defense of the queen of the d4 square as well.
Yeah, I like bishop e2 here. I would have done that. Bishop e2, castle, and same approach, b4, bishop b2. I think that way we don't have to deal with this. And then we don't have to even worry about e4 because we can always go knight d2.
Yeah,
and the g4 square is covered. So I think bishop d3 might have been slight inaccuracy here, and we're seeing some problems now. So c5 played.
Oh, so simply b6. I wonder why black didn't decided not to go for this e4 move, because I think that would have been a really nice way to gain a lot of space in the center.
So b6 trying to break. Now knight takes. Now b4 pawn is under attack. Okay, doesn't look like black has too many problems here.
Yeah.
It seems
Can white go for something like knight e4 here? That's what I'm wondering.
Knight e4 and
knight e4.
If captures, bishop takes c4, then hitting on c6.
Yeah, hitting c6 and preventing black from playing e4 for just a moment at least.
Yeah, and
so
that's what he does. And if we take on b4, then I guess Fabiano is happy to take on f6.
Yeah, that looks actually very, very nice for
Pawn
white,
takes f6, play that position.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be upset if it takes, because then you have knight h. Well, you don't actually.
We don't have, that's the thing. Yeah, I was thinking about that. If we had knight h4, yes, I would say absolutely, but we don't have knight h4 there.
That could be a problem.
So perhaps
maybe queen e2, prepare rook b1, and a lot of the black pieces are actually a little bit loose.
Yeah, I agree. And in the long run, I think there will be a lot of compensation there. So
how to deal with
perhaps
this threat?
black can play like bishop g4 there to try to go bishop h5.
So simply,
but Adiman does a
knight
completely
d5.
different idea. He plays knight fd5, and he basically attacks the pawn on b4 and says there are two attackers on b4.
I have some dangerous ideas here, Var. Knight fg5.
Knight fg5.
Go get him. Go get him.
All right, so let's try to understand. If h6?
H6, I want to play queen h5, but I'm not so convinced myself.
And if takes?
Yeah, I guess knight takes, you do have knight back to f6.
Yeah.
And then I have a check with bishop h7, but
King
you
f8.
have king f8. So maybe it's not quite working just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like these pieces aiming, you know, so
Yeah.
I think if Fabiano needs to come up with something, if anybody can come up with some attacking ideas, I think Fabiano will.
I think he's the one to do it.
Should we take a look at maybe another game?
Yeah.
To see what development we have there. So let's look at this game. This is a game Dominguez playing against Narayana, and Narayana, proved to be a very solid player. He drew Caruana in the first round, and
course, but,
he even had some chances.
It's fair. Now he has the black pieces.
Now he has the
though,
black pieces
against Leinier.
And what do we have here? We see another solid position.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting structure actually.
Yeah.
So white has these doubled c pawns, as does black, but white has just a little bit more space.
Yeah. So bishop b4 played. So the question is.
So yeah, this trade of bishops, I don't think white wants to take on b4. The opening of the a file would be very nice for black. So f5 is gaining this kingside space. Perhaps now we'll see a very rudimentary kingside attack, rook f3, rook h3, and get the pieces to the king.
I guess he didn't want to play the move knight d4 because knight d4 looked kind of interesting because takes queen d4. But
yeah, knight d4. I don't think white would capture that knight.
How would he keep the knight? Play knight c1 or
knight c1? Maybe knight g3, and just bring this knight into h5.
h5 for attacking purposes.
Yeah.
Okay, but this looks nice for white, I think. King
Yeah,
f7. So he's trying to actually walk the king to b7, I think.
Yeah, white's really expanding on the king side, and I think it's going to take black some time to get to b7.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure you have the time, because g5 is coming on the next move.
So he plays rook h8, so try to discourage g5.
Well, yeah, so rook g1, not rook h1. White's not interested in actually trading major pieces here. He wants to keep his rooks on the board for this, for this attack. So knight a6, I guess, is trying to get queen c5 to trade off the major pieces. Maybe we can play c3 here with white. Guards the b4 square. And against queen c5, I might play d4, giving up my c4 pawn just for this dark square control.
Even endgame, white is still, I think, has some chances in endgame.
Yeah, definitely. If you see this pawn land on g6, actually, g4 to g5, then h takes, and then g6, you're going to have some real problems with the g7 pawn, keeping that defended.
And the clock situations, it's about equal. So I think I like Leinier's position. I think he's slightly better here. Rook g2, now he's really preparing the move g5.
Yeah, but now queen c5 is playable, and I guess we will see.
We'll just double up
an
the
endgame.
rooks. It will just double up the rooks. Queen
Definitely.
takes c3, king takes c3, knight will land back on c5, play knight c3 perhaps, and then try to maneuver the king back and go g5.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I was a little bit hesitant to go for this endgame. This a4 pawn is going to cause us some problems, I think.
But I think we'll put the knight on c3 there, and so knight b4 actually played.
Okay, so we do have to defend c2 somehow, or maybe we'll just give it up, but no. Of course, just rook c1 keeps the pawn defended. Now, if knight a2, I'm expecting rook g1, and now perhaps white's actually looking to give up the c2 pawn. Just play g5 here, Go get him.
G5.
Is it working?
Queen D2.
Okay.
Not yet, he says. Not yet.
The Grandmaster patience. That's
Not
something
quite
I
yet.
lack.
Not quite yet. Oh, B5.
Wow, that is not a move I actually saw coming.
Well, the point is if you take
yeah, making
Queen
a
C5 check, take on C2.
oh,
Did Dominguez miss this?
well, I missed it as well. So we do see takes. I mean, I've been ready to sacrifice some of these queenside pawns for a while. Queen C5, I guess. Queen E3, you can just trade and take on C2 anyways.
Yes.
Maybe King F3 here.
And if Queen C2, just trade Rook C1.
Yes.
And then Rook C7. Okay.
So yeah, King F3, you can take B5, but then I think this
Then
G5 move is
we're
coming
happy
through
with
eventually.
we're happy we have our strong structure there.
Oh wow, D4.
G4. Wow, this was
More
unexpected. This was unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing some really interesting chess here. So knight takes D4.
No, queen takes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because knight takes D4, it's a knight C2 tactic.
Don't want to get pinned.
Now he has got Queen D7 check.
So yeah, I would expect the trade here, and then King E3 just keeps everything solid, and the black knight is actually a little bit short on squares.
So and if Queen takes B5, I think he wants to just go G5.
Yeah, G5 looks powerful.
Just
There's
to open up the position.
a lot of looming threats here for white. You know, if
Yeah, I like
black
this.
isn't constantly making threats on the queen side, G5 is going to come through.
I like this, I think. I like this for Leinier.
queen
And his
takes,
opponent
and
is
now-
down to 4. Okay, so he takes.
Yeah, I think he's safe to get this move G5 in. I guess knight C2 is black's idea. It's very double-edged, actually. Yeah, no, I like G5. I really like G5.
Yeah, knight C2, I guess Queen C3 maybe?
Yeah, Queen C3, and you gain this tempo on the
Queen
knight.
B6 check.
Yeah, I think you have King F3.
And then I was looking at some taking on H5, G5, but then the knight is hanging
yeah,
on
the
C2.
the knight on C2 isn't yet fixed.
Yeah, it's quite messy. There are other alternatives in this position as well.
So G5, I think maybe Queen B6 must be played. So like H6, G5, H6, G5, and then Queen B6.
Queen B6, okay. And if captures on F6, Rook G7.
Yeah, it looks dangerous. So
Yeah.
G5 does come through.
Yeah, no, I mean, once you put the rooks like this, you gotta go for it. Okay, this looks.
I think I very much like Leinier's position. I think this is tactically, to my eyes, it looks to be working out. So Rook 8 to D8. So G6, there's King E7, keeping the rook under.
Okay, can he take on F6 here?
Yeah, I
Can he
mean
play
that's the
brilliant?
question. That's the question.
Probably not, but the point here is he takes on D4. You play.
Whoa. Rook takes G7 there,
Rook takes 7. You
And
cannot
then-
take on F6
yeah, you have to
because
go
a
back.
Rook 1 check,
and that's
King here, and
that's
Rook
just a
E6 is a
checkmate.
mate.
So,
So you have to go back on E8.
so yeah, King E8, and then simply Knight takes
Knight takes
D4.
D4, hitting the queen.
Yeah.
And there is a Queen C5 move, unfortunately.
Yeah. C3, but then just Knight C6.
Yeah, there is a Queen C5 there, unfortunately.
No brilliant queen sacrifices today, it looks like. But what can be done then? We have to meet this threat to our queen somehow. Maybe just Queen C3.
Yeah,
Keeps
Queen
all the
C3.
threats.
Then Queen B6 check.
Yeah, King F1, there's Rook. Okay.
No,
This-
King F1 there's Rook D1, so you have to go King F3.
But then there's Rook H3.
Yeah, I think he's just going to play Rook G3 and play that position.
Maybe even King G4 there, though. Gains time on the rook. Oh, no, sorry, the queen's on C3, so you would get... Okay. Queen A7. Not a move I saw. Not a move I saw coming.
He's keeping the pressure, so you cannot take on C2, Queen check, and pick up the pawn, pick up the piece.
Very active play here. Very, very active play.
Wow, what about the Rook to D2 now? Rook to D2, Queen takes C7, okay.
This is a
Yeah,
wild
this is
game
really
so far.
wild here. What's happening here?
I mean, every move I haven't seen how black is going to stop takes on F6, and every move he's come up with some resource so far. But you get the feeling these resources might be running out.
Yeah, the feeling is that Okay, and it's a very important. Knight c6, we have queen c7 because knight c6 would be strong.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no checks anymore. If you play queen b6, white will simply trade the queens and then take on f6, and rook takes g7 is going to be killer, I think. Once these rooks get to this 7th rank, it's tough to stop them. Okay, so maybe black can hope to survive the position. So queen b6 check, takes on f6, takes on f6, rook g7 check. What if I just play king e8? My idea is next move...
With the king on the background, I think it's just going to be...
Yeah, but next move I'm going to play rook d7 and try to evict you. Do you have anything to do with that one tempo?
Let's see here. Queen b6 takes...
I think this might be the way to try to survive. It looks very, very unpleasant. So rook d2. Wow, this is throwing caution to the wind.
Okay, well...
So queen takes c7 is a check.
Yeah, well, that's has to be played.
Oh, the rook actually comes back. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
Well, he's
okay. So you can't sack the queen yet. I
if
still want to play.
Again, if we take when she takes f6, rook takes c7, rook to g7. Again, you cannot take because we have the mate, rook g6. But again, you go king e8.
Even
and if we take on c7, there's a queen b6 check.
Of course. It makes you wonder, though, about
queen c3
takes d7. I don't think it's working.
No,
at all, but,
queen d7, queen d7. There's a queen a7 check there. No, what about just queen c3?
Yeah, queen c3 seems natural. Probably queen e5 there for black. I guess you take f6.
Yeah, take on f6. So I think just queen c3 makes sense.
Queen b6 check, okay. The king has to go somewhere. Maybe king e1 to dodge all the checks?
The only problem is king e1, there might be a doubling up the rooks idea.
Ah, with checkmate.
With the checkmate in the background.
So I guess king f3 is the other option, and then rook h3 check. White simply has to play rook g3, and one set of rooks does come off the board, which is good news for black. Taking a quick look around, I do want to say Wesley So has drawn his game with Shak
All right,
Mamedyarov.
let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at.
Jeffery seems to be losing, unless.
So what happened in this game here? We had some.
Looks like an opening theory.
Some sharp opening theory.
So black takes a rook and white takes a draw.
Wow.
This must be some very good prep from Wesley, because I would expect Shak is definitely trying to win these games.
So what happened with Jeffrey's game?
I don't know, something beyond my comprehension.
So he played the center counter. I don't know.
It's a little suspect.
A little suspicious, against very top-ranked grandmaster. So he took a pawn, actually, but he's just behind in development here.
Yeah, so let's finish looking at this game. I do want to mention Fabiano has actually won his game. I believe he was playing with 2 pieces against a rook, and just a tactic was missed by black here. Bishop e5 wins more material.
All right, let's finish up the Jeffery. So that's the same game, and now basically he's just under tremendous amount of pressure. This h5 is coming here, and this is just a really strange opening choice. Knight f7. Oof.
Yeah, this is nasty stuff. Nasty business.
Yeah, just a bad opening choice by Jeffery. He needs to just make sure he doesn't get into trouble like this,
Okay, so we're expecting a loss from Jeffery. Let's go back to the Leinier Dominguez game, though, because some very important developments have happened.
Okay. So
well, hold on. Well, maybe now Jeffery isn't losing. This just looks like a draw. There's just rook c3.
Rook c3, king g2.
Ah, you have this tactic.
Important, yeah. So probably he's going to lose this game. So Fabiano won, but let's take a look at the games that are in progress here.
Yeah, this Leinier game has blown up. The queens are off the board. The white rooks did invade, but is it enough for white here?
So the question is, who is pushing here?
I think definitely white is pushing. This
White
a-pawn is nowhere
here.
near queening. I think
8 seconds for Leinier Dominguez.
down to his final seconds. I think if this white rook on g1 can just find an open file, then checkmate is threatened on the back rank. So rook d1 is the threat for the moment. Rook d1.
So
rook d2 prevents it, but now rook h1. Rook h1, but then there's some perpetual. Okay, so king f3. And what's the idea? King g4? Alright. Oh no, wait. Rook g2, there's king...
F4?
Yeah, king f4. One set of rooks might come off the board. Okay, so king f4. Takes must be played. Black needs to get rid of that rook on g7. And now the king is coming off the back rank, and I think black is perhaps surviving. Unless rook c1 is powerful. No? Okay.
Knight h5 now still in the
Knight
threat.
h5 is a threat. Can black just start going? Just a4. Just get me out of there. a4, a3, a2, a1. I think that
Probably.
I think that's what black needs to do. Otherwise, these threats around the king are going to be too much. So rook e1 is also a solidifying move. So Leinier does take this pawn. Also, Jeffery did end up losing that endgame, I do want to mention.
So
but let's stay with this game here.
So the score is tied, everybody, right now, 1.5 each.
Yeah. And the question is, oh, well, it looks like, yeah, knight g3 defends everything? Knight g3?
Yeah, but it's just a draw. Rook g1,
Yeah, rook g1, king f4?
g3, f5.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Wait.
no, Leinier flags.
What?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my God! What happened?
Oh, you just didn't move.
Oh,
You just didn't
goodness.
move. Oh, that hurts.
Unbelievable.
That hurts.
Uh-oh.
Wow, so with that result, the score, I believe, is actually tied now.
Tied. My goodness.
Yeah, that's not a good look from Leinier Dominguez. You cannot just lose
How
on
did you
time
flag
like that.
this? Just knight g3.
Yeah, just knight g3, and there's
This is just a draw.
not a problem.
Maybe he didn't like rook f3 there or something, but
Yeah, but I mean, you still just
anything,
play
just
it, right?
f6.
Yeah.
F6, rook g3, even king f4, f7. I mean, oh.
Yeah, I mean, knight f6 check even. You
Just
can
knight
just
f6,
play a move.
anything. Knight
Just
c3.
play a move.
Just play a move. Unbelievable.
That one hurts. That one hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we see what happened in these other games, though? We spent a lot of time on the Leinier game there.
Yeah, we did. Okay, let's take a look at the other games here. So, Fabiano, let's look at the positive side.
Yeah, let's see what Fabi did.
So, Fabi won the game. Thank God he won the game.
Yeah.
Thank God he won, because
I
he
mean,
don't look like...
that's what we needed.
He didn't look like he was doing that particularly great here. you
No,
know. He's
I
down a
mean-
pawn here. I mean, he's got some compensation.
Yeah.
But he's down a pawn.
Yeah, it is a pawn. Wow, so bishop takes d5.
Yeah, he
and
blundered a
this
piece.
was
His
dismissed.
opponent blundered a piece.
Oh, okay. Well, you hate to see it.
Okay, so this was just like a
I mean-
blunder a piece.
Maybe, you know, all is right in the world then. Leinier loses on time in a drawn position.
Yeah.
Abidan just hangs a piece in a...
Yeah, Jeffrey X, we
Okay,
analyzed that
good
game,
position.
and
Yeah, Jeffrey's game didn't go quite according to plan. Well, not the greatest finish to the first half of the
what
match
happened?
here.
This was. I didn't expect we would lose the. I thought it was just going to be a draw. So what happened here? But why play d4? Why complicate so much?
Yeah,
you know?
I think
What was wrong with king f3 here?
simple is sometimes better.
I don't understand. King f3.
Well, I mean, the problem with
Maybe he
putting
didn't
the
like
king on
a4.
f3...
Maybe a4. He didn't. But a4 no, I have g. But anyway, this okay. g5. Take. What happened here? Okay, queen e3. Didn't we discuss king?
Yeah, I think we're looking at
King
king
F3.
f3.
And if
then,
rook h3
h3
check,
just
rook
play rook
g3.
g3.
Takes rook g3. I mean, we're still up a pawn. We have a queen b3 threat there.
I don't know. It looked very pleasant for white. I mean,
I don't know what happened, but
I think
okay,
even in the game
check.
continuation, things were looking quite.
Oh, he lost
quite
his
nice.
endgame. Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, you just take f6, and now now everything is coming through.
Well, first of all, why give up the pawn? Just check on g7 first, no?
Even, I think knight c3 would have been a nice move.
Yeah, knight c3, knight d5.
Yeah. It's very strange stuff, very strange.
Strange. Also, knight d5 looks very natural, no? Knight d5, take on f6.
I don't know. This is, it's
a
little disturbing seeing Leinier Dominguez lose this endgame. I mean, of course, the final position is just a draw, but, you know, losing on time is
I
tough.
mean, just anything. Just go king e4 here.
Yeah, keep the knight out of the game. Just
keep king e4 and, you know.
In this case, Leinier's kind of reliance on this time pressure has
it's gonna
bite him.
That's the problem, you know. It just if it's happening a lot, it's a problem.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Why don't we take a look, though, at the results for round 2, see where we stand after the first half of play. We have Fabiano Caruana defeating Akobian. Leinier Dominguez, of course, unfortunately losing that game to Varuzhan.
In a drawn position, yeah.
Xiong and Wesley got to a quick draw, and then Jeffery Xiong actually lost to Harry Krishna. A little backwards on that one. But the final score so far is 4-4. So even playing field going into the latter half.
I can tell you, the board 4 for India.
Yeah.
He has been performing excellently. Narayan. We thought he'll be the guy that we can try to get points off, but so far he's proving that not so easy. He's just playing well. 1.5 out of 2.
All right. Well, with this halfway point, I think we are going to take a quick break, and perhaps we have a sneak peek at Norway Chess as well, where the finals will take place for the Pro Chess League. Don't go anywhere. We will be coming back with round 3 coverage.
Norway, the chess capital of Europe. Meet and greet and simul with Magnus Carlsen. It's the Pro Chess League Finals at Chess Party 2020. Caruana, So, Botez, Hammer, Rudolph, Chess Bras, an open Fisher Random Chess Tournament. Will you be part of the world's biggest chess party?
elbows, winning game after game. The opposition has never been as heated, as fierce in most elite chess tournaments in the world.
Round 3 coverage of this Pro Chess League quarterfinal match between the St. Louis Archbishops and the India Yogis. My name, of course, is National Master Caleb Denby. I'm joined by Grandmaster Akobian, and we will be giving you the play-by-play coverage of this round 3. We do have pairings really quickly, and I think the games themselves are getting started.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have Fabi playing Hare Krishna. We have Leinier Dominguez against Shak Mamedyarov. Wesley So against Akobian. Wesley So against Naranyan, and Jeffery Xiong against Akobian here in this third round. Why don't we just jump right into the games, though, as we are tied 4-4 coming into this round.
Yeah, a little bit surprising, but we lost the round 2 match, 2.5, 1.5.
Yeah, you hate to see
it. There was
it.
an accident by Dominguez flagging in a drawn position, and Jeffrey had a poor game, lost. So we'll see. But we're a very strong team. We hopefully can bounce back in this round. So we have Fabiano playing Hare Krishna. So we have a
Fabi with
Spanish
black
game.
pieces.
Fabi is black. So so far, and an H3 played. So knight b6. What I know, Caleb, sometimes they go early f5 in this position. So it's
early
like bishop
f5.
c2, f4. So that's why you have to put the bishop on b3.
Yeah.
So now king is on h8, and next move is f5. So white.
So d4 already.
White plays d4. Yeah.
Before black even gets going with this king side attack, breaking through in the center.
Yes.
So d4, how is black going to respond to this threat? You can't play f5 anymore, probably, because there's some
will
pressure
open
on
up the
e5.
position. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly, because if we just go back here, yeah, f5 would be just perfect. Then we have a very easy game to play. But now f5. My concern is just take.
Well, I think maybe take on e5 and then
take on e5. Maybe I can take on e4.
Really?
And hope for some kind of rook takes e4, bishop f5.
What about takes on d6 there, though?
d6 there.
More in between moves.
Bishop takes d6.
Rook takes
e4. Yeah. Bishop f5. Maybe some kind of martial type of pawn sacrifice.
Yeah,
we have some lead in development there, but so Fabiano didn't like it.
Takes on d4 instead.
Okay, so he wants to.
And now maybe a d5 move from Fabi would be nice. Yeah, d5, breaking in the center.
Nice prediction. Okay,
and
so takes
d5. And
knight c3.
Probably going to see something like
bishop e6, right?
Bishop e6, and then a bishop f6 from Fabi is going to be nice.
F6,
just putting more pressure on this d
king
pawn.
on h8 looks slightly
a little strange,
awkward, but it's fine. I think this looks reasonably fine here. I don't see any serious problems here.
It's a pretty natural IQP position.
Yeah, queen d7, rook a d8.
Yeah.
Maybe even f6 if he has the time. f6 would be good, like queen d7.
Yeah.
The reason I say f6 because then I can go bishop g8 and just protect h7. Just keep everything. But the problem here is queen d3. And I don't like this queen d3 idea. We're down one tempo short,
Do you actually see knight takes c3 here, and then maybe bishop c4, just to play against this idea? It's a little bit strange, but I think black is controlling.
A little bit worried about that plan because of maybe perhaps he has knight d2 and queen h5, perhaps.
Yeah, knight d2 is a good move, but I like these positions where I can take on c3 as long as I keep control over all these light squares. I think after bishop f6, to control, to deal with these h7 threats, Fabi's probably going to be playing g6. You do have to look out, though, for some tactics on the e6 square with this bishop.
Bishop f6, so I guess queen d3 will be a mate by just simply g6.
Yeah.
g6
and then I was saying you do have to be a little bit careful, though, with this bishop on e6. There's always rook takes e6 ideas, but not in the immediate position. So simply rook e8 kind of negates some of those threats by giving this bishop another defender. But yeah, I'm kind of still stuck with this idea. I still want to play things like takes on c3 and then maybe knight a5 and just cement this c4 square down.
So you want to play against this kind of like put a blockade.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if Fabi has time, knight takes c3, knight a5, and b5 are kind of some really nice ideas to get through.
Put a knight on c4.
Yeah. You can even follow up with c6 and bishop d5, and everything is
There
solved.
are some attacking chances there for white,
Yeah.
because the queen sets up queen d3, g6.
But I feel like there might be more attacking chances if you allow a move like knight e4 to come through.
You want to stop in knight e4, knight g5.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's not so easy. Yeah, not so easy here. So he did
So
play
knight e4 in this
he played
position.
rook e8. So
Knight
he's
e4, I think Fabi had bishop
e3.
f5 planned.
Bishop
against knight
e3. That's
This is a tempting offer.
that's a little soft move, no? It's a little because it's not.
You're kind of blocking in your rook on e1, actually.
Yeah.
It's not the best. I think, though, the idea is he's simply preparing knight e4. You couldn't play knight e4 last turn due to bishop f5 with some tactics, I think. But here, now maybe knight e4 is an idea. Looks reasonable for Fabi, though, I think. He's got this kind of queenside positional edge. He just needs to make sure these kingside threats don't actually break through for Hare Krishna. So yeah, knight ce7 is a very intuitive move, actually, against the IQP. More control of d5, and you free up your c-pawn a little bit for some c6 ideas, even c5 ideas, opening up the bishop.
Yeah, and if queen. Yeah, and also I like this knight c7 because if queen d3, then you have a bishop f5 move.
Yeah, bishop f5 as well.
Knight e5.
And e5,
Okay, this
well,
is
this
okay.
is kind of asking for c5, isn't it? Can Fabi break
Well,
through?
there's queen h5 idea. So I
Okay.
don't know. Okay, knight takes
Takes on
e3. Knight takes e3. Rook takes e3.
Maybe knight f5. Well, it takes
Bishop
on e5.
takes e5.
I didn't expect that move, actually.
So if
But-
pawn takes, he's happy to go to the end game. Black is
Definitely.
fine there. If rook takes, perhaps
Knight c6.
knight c6, right?
And then if rook e4, bishop f5.
Wait. There's rook e8 there.
There's rook e8 there.
Bishop. So
Okay. So we have to do better.
maybe just
Maybe rook takes just knight d5.
maybe you can also just play c6 and then just put the knight on d5. No, I think it's just this looks okay for black here.
Yeah, doesn't look like a. Doesn't look like
Yeah,
he's
Hare
playing for an
Krishna, yeah.
advantage
So he
in this
took with
case,
the
though.
rook, okay. After some consideration, he took back with the rook, okay. So,
So yeah, I like the move knight d5. I like the move c6. Just keep things solid. You do still have to look out, though. There's these
Knight
annoying
g6
threats
you
on the
played.
king's side. So knight g6, now the knight is a great defender of this long diagonal. And the rook has to move. Where?
so if rook h5, probably
go.
we're going to see something like c6 played.
Okay.
Okay, still, not so clear. But let's take a look at some other games.
Rook h5, maybe
Yeah.
just knight back to f. Yeah, sorry.
Rook
Maybe
rook
knight f8, and then you can play this idea with f6 that
F6,
you're
yeah.
talking about. Bring the bishop back to g8.
To G8
Everything's
to safe.
safe and solid.
Yeah.
But okay, moving.
All right, moving
along.
on here. So let's see. Wesley So against Narayan, the hero for the Indian team so far. So Wesley, very solid position here. So we have, looks like Italian, and pretty solid position here. And Wesley is trying to outmaneuver his opponent.
Yeah, we
Bring
see
the
this
knight
knight
to
doing a little
G3.
dance back to f1 and
Yeah.
up to g3, looking
Yeah.
at the f5
Two-
square.
Also, 2-minute disadvantage here for Wesley on the clock at the moment.
Well, he's
So he needs to
taking
build
his time
up,
a bit,
yeah.
but
Yeah, he's taking his time. So bishop c5, perhaps?
yeah, it seems like a natural idea for black. Just get the bishop on the best diagonal and ask white if he's ready.
Well,
to,
I think
to
he's
trade
going
off
to
his
play knight
piece.
f5. Caleb wants to play knight f5, takes, pawn takes f5, and
Yeah, that actually looks pretty reasonable, but maybe black can just take on e3 and queen takes e3, just play f6. And the bishop on c2 actually looks a little bit suspect, I
sorry,
think.
after bishop c5, knight f5, what do you play?
I want to take on f5
Takes,
and then take on e3
queen takes,
and then f6.
f6.
Yeah, I just want to lock things down a
bishop
bit
e4?
and then play against the bishop. Okay, bishop e4 could be a good move.
Yeah, diagonal pressure. I think that's probably what he wants to do. I feel like that position actually there's a small plus for white because
Yeah.
you also have the pawn on h6, so later on we might see some light squares because you really need to regroup in that position to put the knight away and put c6,
Right.
and that might not be so easy to do. So, and the good news is you don't have g6. If you had g6, king g7, then I think there is absolutely nothing to worry about. But g6, dropping the h6 pawn. So the knight
Yeah,
is gonna land on f5.
Wesley's kind of just in time to get this idea through, so maybe those extra minutes were well spent.
Okay, knight f5 now comes in. Okay. So
this
the
is
question
line we were
is,
expecting. Maybe we won't actually
queen
see it.
f8.
Yeah, take.
Is queen f8 a move here?
So I feel like with this bishop e4 idea, I've been convinced I don't want to take the knight on f5.
But then your queen f8 is the only move you have.
Queen f8 looks dangerous, though. It looks like you're asking for some
Allowing
trouble.
queen g4.
Yeah.
Queen g4.
I like queen g4. I think is there takes on e3 and then g6.
Yeah,
I'm
but there is no
convinced,
threat after g6.
Yeah, and you can just play rook h3, and then the pawn on h6 will be falling.
Yeah, so I think now, okay, Wesley's, I feel like he's gaining some momentum now.
Queen f8, but yeah, no, this queen g4 idea looks strong.
Yeah, I think queen g4 needs to be played.
What else? Maybe queen h5 is a consideration as well.
What else? I
Also
mean,
creating some threats.
I wouldn't mind h4. h4 is a move too.
Yeah.
Just h4.
Wow, so he
okay,
takes.
so he took.
Interesting.
Bishop b3. Interesting approach.
Yeah, this
Very
isn't
interesting approach. Now, if take,
definitely not what I
he
saw
wants to
coming.
take ab. Wait, if you take, there is also queen g4 that needs to be looked at.
Okay, so he's trying to divert the bishop from
some
its
tactics,
attack here.
Some tactics. The knight on c6 is definitely misplaced, and
Yeah, but with the way that Wesley's handled this, I think knight e7 is one tempo away, so you do have to be very careful. So bishop takes b3, probably queen g4 now.
no, he just takes.
Okay.
He just takes because knight e7 there is b4. So the good news is you don't have. Let's see. So he plays king h.
Okay, king h7.
Okay, but this is
now,
better now.
Now b4.
This is clearly better for white
the
now.
queen has to come back to
Queen
f8.
has to
I
go
think
back
you
to
need this queen
f8.
to defend.
Even if you get g6 and this is still, white is doing really well here. Well, first of all, the next move actually could be even b5. Queen f8, b5 maybe even.
Yeah, queen f8. I thought maybe even queen c4, just
Queen
to put
c4.
pressure on the c5.
Yeah, this is
c7
pleasant.
pawn as well.
This is quite pleasant now for white.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Wesley's doing a good job here.
Yeah, queen c4. I like queen c4
Yeah,
too.
queen c4. Yeah, b5 looks good as you mentioned.
You know,
and-
at some point, yeah. The one thing you have to avoid is trading the knights.
Yeah, that's
So
where
that's
a
why
lot
I
of
think
white's
queen,
advantage
queen
is. I think.
c4 does a good job, with that.
Just pressure
Or b5.
on the position.
It's wondering what he would play. h4 he plays.
So, what's his response to knight e7? I feel like
93,
you just
93.
Always, okay.
Always you gotta keep one pair of the knights.
Yeah, 93, but then c6 for black. Maybe he's consolidating a bit. I kind of wanted to avoid this.
The only thing I can think of here, Caleb, queen
Yeah.
c4, maybe he didn't like rook d2 invasion.
Rook d2. Okay, but then
And the b2 is hanging, and
it seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem quite right though for black. Does b5 work? A takes b, queen takes b. It's a lot of pressure.
yeah, rook takes a1, I guess. Queen takes rook takes a1, maybe g6. I like whites. There's still 93, 95.
Yeah, I mean, there's also queen takes b7, I think, in that
Okay,
line.
so
But-
e6. Okay, so now he wants to go queen f7. So queen c4 needs to be played here.
Okay, queen c4, hit that c7 pawn.
Yeah.
But probably c6 for black, I would imagine.
c6, yeah, and then. Okay, then perhaps just play that position. That's still a very pleasant position for white.
I agree, more space and definitely the better knight. And after c6, the b6 pawn, the b6 square does look a little bit weak. You can
c6, I think I
imagine-
just go rook ed1.
Yeah, just challenge the file.
Yeah.
The e6 square is looking a little bit tender as well for a queen to land on. Rook d7, I still like your move, rook d1. I think I'll go with the e rook, but there's also b5 once again to consider.
Yeah, b5. Yeah, the only thing now he can take, and with the rook
Yeah.
on d7 he can play c6. So I'm hoping that
I like rook d1.
we can get something in this one. So rook d1.
And now, how do you keep up the threats? How do you keep up the threats? It's not so easy.
Can play maybe queen e6, swap everything, take back with
Yeah,
the knight.
the pure queen and knight endgame could be something.
But then our knight is a little bit misplaced, so we need some time.
Yeah, we need some time, but
reposition the knight.
I don't see how you coordinate the pieces with black there either.
Okay, queen
so queen
e6.
I think I like this line actually for white.
Yeah, so it's going for this.
Because after takes, this knight comes back to e3, and how do you actually
get rid of? Yeah,
coordinate? It's not so easy. You can
no,
play
the
knight
queen on
c6,
e6 is very annoying. I mean, it's.
Yeah, the problem is once you move this knight off of e7, then the squares on d5 and f5 both become available to the white knight again.
And queen d6 doesn't solve your problems. Queen d6, queen f7.
Yeah, queen
Problems
f7
are still remaining.
Yeah, things like knight g4 could be threats as well after h5. And so h5 for black.
Wait,
wow,
wait. This cannot be good.
This is silly.
Okay,
Queen f7.
f7.
You can't play king h6. I'll play queen takes knight.
Yep, this just wins. Queen f7 wins, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to do. The h pawn just falls.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, h5
right.
was a bad move. There we go, Wesley.
So of course the tactic king h6. You'll see queen takes knight. Queen
Nice
takes,
catch,
and
nice
knight
catch,
f5
Caleb. That
That'll
was
do it.
quick too. Nice.
Yeah.
Sharp tactics.
I'm trying to get Mike to play me, Var. He won't put me on the
No.
team. You know,
If
I
we
play
had
Saturday Night Special. I beat all the grandmasters. It's still not enough. He won't put me on the team.
Well, I don't know with the current format with the unlimited amount of. Okay, this is looking great, guys.
I mean, Wesley's going to pick up the pawn on h5. He'll still
this is
have
just
all
winning.
the same
Yeah.
positional
I think,
moves.
finally
And,
they're going to be able to. Our team is going to be able to crack the Narayan strong players. Let's see
looks
here.
good. I will
How's
say
Fabiano doing here.
Fabiano, huge time edge, notably.
Huge edge, yeah.
And I think the position itself, the rook on a7 is actually looking a bit strange. I think Fabi's the only one pressing here.
Yeah, Fabi is definitely pressing here. Let's take a look here in this game because this is the one I'm a little bit.
Yeah, Leinier down on time once again, but with
but he's just completely winning.
crushing.
He's completely winning. He's up the pawn.
Yeah, Shock is dead. Shock's just dead.
Shock just.
Leinier needs to play a move though. Why isn't he playing bishop e6? I'm confused.
Yeah, Shock just. I know this line. Okay, so things went wrong here. This is all theory, but some of this is theory. But okay, I think Shock mixed up the line here.
Yeah, I'm confused.
You're supposed to play rook d1 here. That line you can go for, it's rook d1 here.
Yeah, no,
It's not long castle.
This is looking a bit familiar. I think I've actually
There was a
analyzed
game
one of
Magnus
these.
played actually. Yes.
Yes, so
All right,
Shock
Dominguez
simply resigns.
wins.
So that's a huge win for us. We take down board 1 of the India Yogis.
Huge win by Dominguez, redeeming that little accident in the previous round. Bravo, bravo, Leinier.
It's a good way to bounce
back. That gives us the win, and we expect Wesley win again.
Wesley has won the game.
Fantastic.
Wow, we actually saw that tactic appear on the board with Queen
Beautiful,
takes
yeah. I guess it was a wake-up call. You know, the last round was a little wake-up call here. Let's see now
players getting back on
how
form.
Jeffery is doing. We need Jeffery to play well.
Oh no, Jeffrey's falling for some tactics. No, Jeffrey's winning a queen, but Jeffrey's losing all his pieces.
What's going on here?
So
Jeffery?
it looks like rook takes c3, rook takes e1, king f2, bishop c3, and then queen c7
Oh
in the
my
end.
goodness! But
I think it's working out. I think you end up with a queen for 2 rooks.
what's going on? He's again in huge trouble out of the opening. What is going? Wait, what's working out?
So okay, that's not the line I expected.
Bishop g5.
Yeah, I did not expect this line. I thought Jeffrey would play rook takes c3.
Ay, what's going on
So
with
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey
just
today?
down a couple pawns. It looks like not so good.
Need a
Not so
miracle,
good.
miracle in it here.
So rook c2 keeps the rook out, but 2 pawns is enough. 2 pawns is enough.
What was the opening here? Oh, what's going on? Okay, he played a solid opening and then
Yeah, Jeffrey just simply resigns. That's for sure.
unbelievable.
Yeah, unfortunate
this is just-
stuff from Jeffrey. There is still one more game in progress. Let's see if Fabi can try and convert this last game against Hare Krishna. Looks like his rook's a little bit stuck now
Wow.
on h3.
Yeah, Jeffrey just performed a little bit better. This match would have been over.
Yes. Yeah. But let's focus on the good here. I think bishop d5 is a really strong move from Fabi. You're going to play bishop f3, and you're going to take the g4 pawn. But
Wait, don't we lose the pawns there?
maybe you do. So
Rook
maybe this
b6.
is not so good.
I wouldn't want to risk it. I would like to win the match.
Yeah.
I'd
like to win the match. too.
with 2.5 at least. I would want to go to the final with.
So, well, my only concern is that if you play rook h8 here, maybe there's going to be some pressure on g7.
And if you play rook h4, there's f3.
Yeah. So what's to be done? Rook h8, I guess we should analyze this line. I was expecting rook a7.
Rook h8, rook a7, threat is knight f5.
But I guess the good news for Fabi
Bishop
is...
d3 maybe?
Yeah, bishop d3 guards that square. You can also maybe just play rook d8 and
But,
against
but,
knight
but
f5.
there is
bishop
also
f7.
this knight... Okay, bishop d5.
So well, he goes for this after all. Wow, so this is the first line I gave, but Var, you were saying this looks a little bit risky.
Well,
I tend
because
to
it's
agree.
two connected pawns, but I think he calculated it probably.
So
yeah, that's okay.
He also has some very strong checkmating threats after this pawn on g4
Yeah,
disappears.
I think still, I think we should be okay here.
Yeah.
You know, it's much harder to play for Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And
yeah.
then, of course, there's also the huge time edge that Fabi has.
Okay,
this
now-
is something Fabi has done a
Now
lot
rook
of.
f4 now, maybe.
Yeah, I like rook f4. Just keep everything under control. But now White probably plays this move b5 and gets
Yeah,
these
but
pawns
b5
going.
we have g4, I think.
Let's get that toolbar off. Okay, b6. Now we need the rook back in the game somehow.
Yeah, rook.
Rook b3 is a pretty strong threat here. So maybe rook d4,
Yeah, rook d4.
rook d4, rook d7, but then I think the pawns are kind of rolling. Probably not rook d7, probably just
Rook
bishop
b3,
b7.
bishop b7,
Yeah,
maybe
bishop
kill
b7,
it,
keep
just to
everything.
control everything.
You can also insert a rook d1 check if you...
Yeah, rook d1 check, king going and bishop b7. Then you got f5, f4 coming
Yeah,
up.
king g5 and g6, f5, and king h4 and f4. And unless you can force these pawns through on the A and B files, I think whites are simply going to get checkmated. Of course, so far the score in this round is 2-1. This is the final game still in progress here. Fabi's trying to make it 3-1 in this third round, which would really put the India Yogis in a tough spot. In fact, rook d1 was powerful enough that Hare Krishna just plays
Rook c1.
rook c1. But now I think rook d3 is picking up a pawn, right?
Rook, well,
Rook d3, a4, and then...
f5.
Okay, so he just
wants to go
continues
f4.
on the king's side. I like this as well.
So the plan is to try to go rook b1, bishop b7 now.
Yeah, bishop b7. Oh, okay, rook d8. But, okay, b7, but this loses the pawn, right? I
Yep.
think this 3 versus... Oh, so this was his idea. But no, we can just take on b7, and then I guess rook takes f5. This is...
I wish he played bishop b7. It would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow,
f4.
f4. But now this f pawn falls. Looks like a draw. Looks like a draw. Yeah, I'm not sure there's any way to fight for the win here still. You have to take on b7, and then after takes on f4, black really has no winning chances. But with a draw, we still move to 6.5, so I don't think we're in too much danger.
So which move you're suggesting here?
Just rook takes b7.
Knight f4 check.
Yeah, king f7.
Rook b7.
Bishop takes b7, and I mean, I don't think black's ever losing with this long bishop. Oh wow, g5. So Fabi still trying to create some problems, but I think it's just going to be rook takes b7 and a drawn endgame.
Yeah, probably just time to call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah, risking a bit too much, I think, if you leave the b pawn on the board. So now this bishop can both control the pawn on g4 and corral this a pawn at the same time. And black's king, and plenty of time to come to the center of the board. Shouldn't be any problem here holding this for Fabi. Yeah, now maybe even just king d5, I think. You can get to this a pawn, take it off the board,
Yeah,
and
just
sacrifice the bishop for the final pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do see king d5. Now this knight move makes a threat, but we'll just move the bishop out of the way. Although...
No, just bishop h1 now, maybe.
Yeah, bishop
or
h...
bishop g2. Bishop g2, maybe. Yeah,
Bishop g2. And now you lose the g-pawn, but you do gain the a-pawn. And once again, the bishop can sacrifice itself for the final pawn. And no problems here for black. You can even play g4, I suppose. Just keep this pawn.
Keep it, make it harder. Yeah.
And now bishop f3. Oh, so he gives the pawn, but of course this is a dead draw. A dead draw. Calling it dead.
Yeah. Bishop e6 maybe.
Yeah, White's trying to box this king out.
You
But,
can,
I mean,
this
it's
is just an easy
it's
draw.
a bit silly. Yeah, simply bishop e6.
Yep.
Or the check. The check works too. Yeah, now king d4. And nothing to be done. The king has made it back. King d5
Yeah, just
would have been a way to lose.
the only way you would lose is
Would've been a
if
way
you
to
let a
lose.
fork happen. That's
Yeah.
the only way you would lose this. Okay, so
So now, with the bishop eyeing f5 from afar, this king is going to control the e4 square. Then there's no way to block the diagonal, and there's no way to advance the pawn. So we do actually see now bishop takes pawn, and the
game
draw.
drawn.
for
Okay,
Fabi.
good result.
So
Plus
this,
one.
of course, brings us to
Plus
6.5
one.
points.
6.5 again, but we still need
1.5
1.5
points in the
points.
final. Of course, we do have draw odds in this match thanks to our regular season performance. So we just need to get to 8 points.
But we still need 1.5 points.
So plus one is not enough for the India Yogis.
Great,
in the final
great
rounds.
result.
They
Great
need
result in this
plus 2.
round. I mean, just a pity that Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Let's take a look
not,
to
not
see
on
what
form
happened. What's
today.
going on with Jeffrey today? He's such a good player.
Yeah.
And so it's the same opening he played against Mamedyarov actually, and he got a very solid position. Okay, so f3.
Yeah, I mean, I like what he's done so far. Queen e2. This bishop on e3 is going to fill the dark squared weaknesses.
Knight
And then
f5,
we
knight
have
f4, some
Ooh.
tactic. What is this tactic?
What is this tactic?
So I guess there's this queen c5 check. So perhaps, yeah, he probably overlooked this knight f4. So probably the easiest thing would have to do is just bishop c2.
Yeah,
here.
bishop c2.
Just
Trade
swap
off
everything
some
off
moves.
and just enjoy that slightly better position. Trade everything off. There's no tactics, nothing. I think it's just pleasant position
Yeah.
for Jeffrey here.
I don't know. I mean, knight f4 is an understandable miss, though.
He missed the queen g5 and queen c5 tactics. So basically, after this, if you go to f2, queen g5, queen g5, queen g2, you get mated.
Yeah.
And basically just check and he takes. And now this is very unpleasant because black is yeah. This comes down to that thing that putting when you're under pressure, you want to liquidate the pressure. That's why
Right.
you should play bishop to liquidate, even though it seems like it's safe. But then he played the aggressive move, having
Yeah,
a
I mean,
loose
as
piece.
soon as you put a piece on an undefended
Yeah,
square, that's when
this
you're
is just
vulnerable
a
to these kinds of tactics.
Very, very strange move by Jeffrey, and after this, it just went down a hill. I mean, this is very unpleasant now. Losing pawn.
Yeah, and the pawns just fall, and then we saw Jeffrey end up in this losing. Although I do want to pause here. I thought rook
this
c1,
was
rook
just
takes
losing.
c3. Could you play rook takes c3 actually,
Just rook e1 check, bishop c3.
and then queen c7,
Yeah, rook d3 even.
rook
Just
d3?
Too many pieces.
Yeah, there's no way. Okay.
I know
Fair
that's
enough, fair
rook d3. Just unfortunate. No, this is
Yeah,
just
rook d3?
whenever you see a position. The rook e3.
Ah, okay, all right.
No, whenever you see this looseness, it's
Yeah,
just dark square bishop on the board. This is
It's
just
too much. It's just too much.
yeah. This is just and he didn't even try here. Yeah, he thought it's just completely hopeless. Oh, he's down 2 pawns. He's down 2 pawns here.
That'll do
So
it.
I thought it was just one. Actually.
No, it's enough.
Anyway,
it's enough.
Luckily we have Wesley So coming through and Dominguez.
Yeah, I mean,
really
if you can't rely
demolished.
on Wesley
He
So, you can't
demolished.
rely. Yeah, this was
demolished
crazy.
Mamedyarov here.
Yeah, must have just mixed up opening lines.
So it was Queen's Gambit declined.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
gets into some very sharp
You're
stuff.
supposed to play Rook D1 here.
Yeah.
That line that he was supposed to play Rook D1 and he played here and something he mixed up. I don't know what exactly, but Knight D4.
Yeah, this king is just too weak now, especially
Yeah,
with the king
I
7
mean,
develops.
Well, he should maybe take back with the E pawn at least here, to
Yeah,
be able to
that's-
prevent.
That's
because
actually
this is
another
just-
strange decision. Takes with the e pawn, maybe there's some problem. If you take with the e pawn,
But the way he played, he
Yeah.
just lost.
Well, yeah,
he
fair
couldn't even develop.
I don't actually understand why
Yeah.
not e takes.
I'm not sure. I
I'm
think he
confused.
just missed something.
Well, perhaps we've seen some bad games from our players today, but I don't think it's quite at this level. This was just
this was just really
upsetting.
Poor play by Mamedyarov. Yeah, this is just.
Well, why don't we take a look at our round 4 pairings?
Round 4 pairing, critical pairings. We need 1.5. We need 1.5 to qualify.
It all comes down to this final round where
Fabiano White against Fabio. We'll take a look at Fabiano's game because I think he probably missed something. There's a moment I wanna.
Absolutely. From round 3, Fabi against Shak Mamedyarov on board 1. Leinier Dominguez takes on Naranyan. I think we actually have a little bit of a mix-up there in the pairings. I think Wesley So is playing Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
However,
because Naranyan already played against. That was the accident game, where accident happened. Dominguez. That was against Naranyan.
So in round 4, we will have Fabi against Shak, Leinier against Hare Krishna, Wesley So against Akobian, and Jeffery Xiong against Naranyan on board 4. So round 4, of course, is that matchup where board 1 plays board 1, board 2 plays board 2, and so on. And I was been saying, I think this is really where the Archbishops shine, when you get these head-to-head matchups, the top boards against the top boards, and that's when Fabi, Wesley, and Leinier are really gonna show their stuff.
Absolutely.
So, here we do have the actual pairings. Of course, as we said, Fabi against Shak, Leinier against Hare Krishna, Wesley against Akobian, and Jeffery Xiong against.
So we have White in 1 and 3, right?
Fabi and Leinier actually both have White on the top 2 boards.
Top 2 we're White.
So it'll be up to Wesley and Jeffery to kind of hold down the fort with Black in this final round, and then leave it to the superstars to get it done. Leave it to Fabi, leave it to Leinier.
Absolutely. Well, Wesley has been playing extremely well. He scored 2.5 out of 3.
Wesley has really, I think it's safe to say, been the MVP for the Archbishops this year.
Yeah,
he gets it done every week, scores points. I don't know if he's
incredibly consistent.
Honestly, I think he's gone positive every week so far, which is incredibly tough to do.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, the situation is we have 6.5, 5.5 right now.
Yes.
We need 8 points to qualify to the finals.
Of course, we see the bracket here, and notably from this bracket, China has already defeated the Germany Bears to advance to the finals in Norway. Now we're hoping to do the same against the India Yogis here, with just 1.5 points to go. That's all we need to get to these finals.
And this, I guess it's on Thursday. Thursday will be the Marshals against Armenian Eagles, and Friday, Canadian Chess Bros against Chicago Wind. So this week will determine the finals.
Armenia, no stranger to the Pro Chess League finals either. They've been there before.
They won 1 year actually.
And the Canada Chess Bros, of course, always a strong contender. Always a strong contender.
They have a very strong team with Alexander Grishchuk leading up the squad.
I think Anish Giri as well.
Anish Giri, Firuja.
Very tough people.
So, wow.
I do want to mention, though, during the regular season, the team that gave us the most trouble, actually not the Canada Chess Bros, it was the Chicago Wind. Yeah. We narrowly defeated them in our match. So perhaps they're going to be a team to look out for as well.
Absolutely. Well, the Chicago Wind is mostly the players from Webster University.
Webster, they're training very hard there. They're definitely going to be on form.
Yeah.
It's a tough team to look out for.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll see.
All right.
Critical, nail-biting round awaiting us. So we were hoping maybe we don't have to be here, but
it all comes down to
we'll be already much more safer. We'll be in a safer zone, But
I mean, a half point edge, though, definitely. It's not the most uncomfortable position to be in.
It's a half point edge, and plus we have the tiebreak. So
the tiebreak helps. It helps.
We're basically at the moment we have a 1 point lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a sense that 8-8 also will make us go through the playoffs.
So that is to say, the India Yogis, it's not good enough for them to just go +1 in this final round. They need +2 to advance to the finals.
Yes, they need 3.5. They need 3-1 score.
Yes,
and 1.5 will be enough for our team Archbishops to go through the finals. So, question is, Jeffrey, can he play a solid game? Solid game against Naranyan. These last 2 games both have been very loose.
Yeah, I mean,
I really like Jeffrey. He's a great player, but today just somehow bit too loose, you know, in my opinion.
These
Both
quick
games, you know.
Too, I think Jeffery isn't the type of player really prone to tilting, but with these rapid games and the rounds running so fast, it's easy to kind of fall into that.
If you remember the World Cup last year, you remember what he did there, eliminating Anish Giri and a few others. He won 3 rounds, crazy. Actually. Yeah.
I think he beat Jans Christoph as well, and
Anish Giri.
It's good stuff from Jeffery.
So he can. Yeah, he is extremely strong player. Just somehow not at his best so far, but hopefully in the last round he can come through. You know, it would be nice to see Jeffery do well in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't spent much time so far. I think he's just within the last year when he crossed 2,700. But that is really, he's becoming one of the best players in the entire world. And so he needs to start showing that stuff. You know, it's that consistency that gets you to that rating. And so he needs to show it here in this final round.
About to start again. The score is 6.5 for Archbishops, 5.5 for India Yogis.
Yeah, well, while we're getting set up here, why don't we take a look at some upcoming events here at the St. Louis Chess Club? We've got some really exciting stuff going on. Of course, the Candidates Tournament will be going on all the way over in Russia, featuring these players. And actually, I believe breaking news, Rajabov is out, and Maxim
Vashilogrov is in.
Of course, Maxim having a really strong last couple of years, and very, very much deserving of a spot in the candidates. And we will be doing live coverage of this tournament from the St. Louis Chess Club. Be sure to follow along starting March 17th through April 4th. We'll have some really exciting stuff for you.
Absolutely.
On the show.
Very exciting stuff. It's just in a few days, basically. It's next week. Next week starts.
I also want to mention, coming up is the Spring Chess Classic. Be sure to keep an eye on that as well. We will also be doing coverage of this tournament. And one of the Archbishops is actually playing. Actually, I think a couple of the Archbishops are playing.
Yes, I'm playing myself there.
Var is in. Jeffrey is also the reigning champion of the Spring Classic, I believe.
Yeah. He won the tournament last year. Yeah, I remember.
I think he's the first player to actually repeat the Spring Chess Classic victory.
Wow.
And then he's also won, I think, a Summer Chess Classic as well. So
he gained a lot of points. And actually gained a lot of points in this tournament. He does really well. This tournament's actually worked perfectly for Jeffrey. He was about 2650s, and he gained quite a lot of points in this tournament. So
yeah, this is where Jeffrey is.
And
really
we got some game scale up. We got the last round. Critical games have just started.
Right,
so
well, let's jump into it. We see Fabi once again with E4.
Fabi is white against Mamedyarov. Mamedyarov just lost a really bad game here, so he's gonna come out. You know, swinging and trying to do something here.
Definitely.
But you know, we know that against Fabiano, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, but
to play overly aggressive.
It's go time for the India Yogis, though. They need to score, or they need to be trying to score a victory on pretty much every board here to have a chance.
Yes.
Knight A5, looking at a C4 square, and I do like Black's bishop all the way on G7 here.
That's a good bishop. I agree. That's a good bishop here.
Maybe Knight C3 can alleviate some pressure.
Yeah, Knight C3 is okay. I mean, H3 is a possibility here too. I just don't want to allow Bishop G4 in this position.
Understandable.
So that might be another idea here. As you can tell from the opening, from the get-go here, Mamedyarov is just trying to get something in balance here.
Yeah.
Objectively, you know, white should be better here. The knight on A5. Objectively, yeah. But
so knight BD2 keeps an eye on the C4 square as well.
Absolutely.
Which is really the knight's only outpost.
So C6 is played.
I just like castles.
Castles.
Just get out of the center. Black's not ready to open up the center with his king still on E8, so C takes D is not going to be played.
So the question is now how to win. Put a knight on D2. The drawback about the knight on D2, you block your dark score bishop.
Yeah, so I think I like maybe a rook B1 move from Fabi. Just
right now or take first?
Well, can you take? Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, maybe take first. That way we don't have to worry about having the loose pawn.
Yeah, the pawn on D5 could be problematic. I do like unpinning, though, and then we can move this B pawn, maybe put this bishop on B2. Oh, A4 is another way to go about things. Putting pressure on this B5 pawn. If you push it to B4, what is Fabi's idea? Maybe knight B3? Bringing a knight into D4?
Well, let's see. So the capture has occurred, and he did not take back. Interesting.
Yeah, he simply castled.
But now you cannot take with your A knight because of AB. Okay, so now...
Okay, so we do see A takes B, and now maybe knight B3 does put some more pressure on this open file, and I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable for black here. There's just this D pawn sitting on D6.
Yeah,
so
knight
you're always
B3 I
gonna
like.
have to,
You know, if
gonna have to
bishop,
cover it.
probably bishop E6 or bishop B7.
Yeah, and I don't think white is in a rush to capture on A5, but
Yeah.
it's still tough to develop the dark squared bishop due to this pressure on
because
on
of the
B2.
B2 pawn. I think it's roughly equal here, this position, because
equal is fine
the D6 pawn is weak, but also we're tied up to the B6 pawn. So it's,
Yeah. Definitely, though, we're okay with the draw. We just need to not lose any games.
Any games, that's
And
it.
then
I want to
we
keep an
are
eye
doing
on the
great.
Jeffery game here, so just
Yeah, how is Jeffery doing so far?
so he playing solid. That's good.
All right, I love to see it.
He played a solid opening, Queen's Gambit accepted, and he knows the match situation. So draw is perfectly fine here, and
So he takes some queenside space.
I like
and,
what he's doing. He's just playing very solidly. Rook F8 is coming up.
Yeah, eventually, the D and C pawn will be
C3
traded
square.
off.
C3 square is a good square for the black knight.
Yeah, it's interesting that white allowed pawn to B4 quite so quickly. I
Well,
don't.
they played this plan, but I believe white. You shouldn't have a knight on C3 to do this plan. You know?
Yeah, you put the knight on D2,
Yeah,
you play A4,
and then you
and
may
B3,
B4. But
and-
he lost so much time by doing
Because,
this.
I mean, the point of A4 is you provoke B4 to loosen the C4 square, but your
Yeah.
knight can't come to C4 if you put it
well,
on
also
C3.
a lot of time he spent you
Yeah.
know, to do that. So that's why. I like what Jeffery is doing. I like his position. So Rook F8.
And
now.
Bishop D3, maybe some threats on the H7 square, but nothing
Yeah,
so
with the
far.
bishop on E7, I think we're fine. Just Rook F8. Put the pawn on H6. Just play solid. Queen B8.
Queen
Queen
E2.
B8. You know.
So yeah, white is eyeing this A6 pawn, but should be okay for the moment.
Yeah, since
No
the
way to
knight is still in
predict
front of it, so. Okay, so he
So he
takes.
does
very
open.
nice.
it. And now there's no knight E5 tricks because knight C3 is
Yeah.
strong.
If you capture back with the knight, there is knight C5 here.
Yeah, I think this is accurate play so far.
We
from
have
Jeffery.
these funny knights. They're facing each other, you know, like.
the powerful knight square.
So now, bishop B1, perhaps.
Bishop B1, there's a lot of pressure on the B3 pawn, actually.
Yeah, well,
Bishop
well
F6
first of
might
all,
come
if you go
through.
bishop C2, there is no tactic, sorry, there. I was thinking about bishop C2, knight A4, takes queen C4, but there's a bishop H7 check.
Yeah, the discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So far, it just looks very comfortable for Jeffery. He's
Yeah.
actually the one with more space here.
Yeah. More space, a little bit more time on the clock. I like this. This
Yeah.
is how I think he should play. Perfect.
Okay,
All right,
so,
so
how
where we got
is,
is,
Leinier doing?
Leinier
Maybe we can check it out.
against-
Looks like Leinier is winning a pawn.
Leinier is white, and he's.
He's crushing.
I'm surprised Hare Krishna played E45.
I mean, this is like- this
E45 in a must-win situation match. you know?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the current position, is
Yeah,
white just
you're
winning?
you're not gonna play. You're not gonna outplay Leinier in this kind of
No, I mean,
positions.
he's
I'm just surprised he didn't
world-class.
choose like some Sicilian or
Yeah.
something. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he does have black against Leinier, and I think this is the biggest mismatch. Well, no, not with Hare Krishna, actually.
No.
I forgot Leinier is our board 2,
Yeah.
not board 3.
No, I
Wesley
mean-
So has actually already drawn his game against Akobian,
Oh wow.
and so that's a huge result for us.
What?
Every draw gets us closer.
I don't understand. What
victory.
is India doing? I mean, how
I
they
mean,
can,
Are they just giving up? Like, what's...
what they're doing? I mean, this is unbelievable. I thought Adiban would be pushing H4, H5,
Yeah.
and trying to mate.
No, I mean, they have to be playing for a win here if they're
Sure.
trying to win the game, win the match.
Well, he already misplayed it clearly, but
Yeah.
wow, great for us.
All right, that's a good draw for us. I do want to say though, I think Leinier is just winning a pawn and like possibly the game in his current position. Queen B5 attacks E5,
Well,
attacks
if
A5.
he wins this, it's over.
I mean, how do you
That's-
defend
That's-
both pawns?
We are at 7 points right now. We need one more point to clinch, to punch the tickets
absolutely
to the finals
the
in
tickets
Oslo.
to Norway.
for Norway.
But yeah, I mean, Leinier is just winning a pawn. Maybe black can try to hold
Yeah,
somehow.
C5.
but-
I guess just queen takes A5.
Yeah, Queen A5. I think maybe it's better to give up the E pawns somehow, but there's no way to defend A5.
The problem is there's no counterplay, Caleb.
yeah, there's nothing to be done.
I'm just, to be honest, I'm just shocked. You know, that
This is crazy.
What Indian Yogis are doing in this round. I thought they'll be just like going after with Sicilians, with dragons,
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
Nidors.
This is not the showing for the final round.
This is just basically they just give up.
Yeah.
I mean, just you playing E45 symmetrical. Yeah, surprising. But anyway, we're very happy with with
Fabi's
how this
game
round is going.
seems to be heating up a little bit.
Okay, Bishop E3 played, so the knight is under attack.
Yeah, so if queen takes A2, we'll take on D4. There's a knight F3 check tactic maybe, but you simply take it. That
queen
structure.
A2 and just take on B5. Always
Yeah.
eliminate the B5 pawn, so there is no pass pawn or anybody running down the board there.
Yeah. And I was going to say, the structure after knight F3 and G takes actually isn't all that bad for
There's
white.
not enough
It's
pieces on the
perfectly
board.
safe.
There's not enough pieces on the board for black to be able to organize an attack there.
So maybe we'll see this knight move, but where to go? Where to go? There's bishop B3 coming next for white, I believe.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's very hard to see how Mamedyarov is going to play this position for a win.
Yeah, and so we
Very,
see him
very
actually taking a little bit of time here, getting a bit of a deficit, trying to find some way to
if he
create
plays
chances.
knight C6,
Yeah, queen D5 actually looks
queen
pretty
D5
annoying.
attacking on F7. How do you defend that now?
You-
F7,
I mean, you don't.
knight E5, maybe
In knight E5, can I just
F4. I
caveman
thought
F4?
Knight C4, maybe. Maybe we don't need him to play F4.
Maybe bishop D4 there is a bit more resilient
Yeah.
after knight E5. Then knight C4, we can take G7, we can take C4, we can take D6.
Yeah, we're never in danger there.
Totally dead.
Yeah. Again, a little bit shocking to see Adiban just repeat.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy early draw from
What just
Adiban.
happened in this
With
game?
with the white pieces, you really need to be pushing here. I mean, of course, his opponent is Wesley So. It's not so easy to just push.
Just
but
completely shocking that. But okay, good
It's
for
a
us.
bit
How's
silly.
Jeffrey doing? Okay, Jeffrey.
he pushes E5.
So
Okay.
bishop B1 play, bishop F6, E5, and he says, I'm going to take that B3 pawn here.
Free pawn. If it's free, it's for me.
Well, what is Narayan going to do now? I think he just misplayed it. He
yeah,
should have
I
put the
mean,
bishop on C2. Because knight moves away, I think Jeffrey is taking that pawn and hitting that rook with the tempo, knight C1, tempi attacking the queen.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time to play some discovery with the knight because you can simply capture this rook. on
There is a
C1.
queen C2 trick, but queen C2 trick, knight takes C1, queen H7,
I don't know if that's what we
king
want
F8.
in life. Yeah.
No?
That's something you have to calculate. Maybe there's E4 here. Does E4 work just to block off this diagonal and hit the
E4
knight?
here. Wow. E4. Oh, he just,
So no, he just takes. Queen C2, maybe then E4. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. You just take it.
no, but you can just take on C1.
Yeah, take on C1. You can take on H7.
Queen
The
H7,
king runs.
F8. The danger would have been if there was a knight landing.
All right. Also, though, the E5 pawn is a bit loose. A lot going on here, but I think Jeffrey might have calculated it well enough. I think it's looking good. This extra B pawn is going to be very, very strong.
Wesley just finished his game and now watching.
Yeah, we're to keep an eye here on Jeffery Xiong on board for Jeffrey. Not having the best match so far, but it seems like this one is going his way. I also want to say Leinier did win that A pawn, and this endgame looks very, very pleasant for him. I think he's
Let's
just
take a look.
going to win this game. This past A pawn is way too much.
Yeah, he's just up a pawn. So basically what happened, just C5 was played, takes B3.
Yeah, maybe Leinier could have even just taken this pawn. I don't see why not.
Queen
but,
C3.
yeah, Queen C3 is solid.
Why not pawn takes pawn?
I don't know. I do not know.
Do you see what was wrong with it?
Maybe he was worried about like rook d3 or something, some sacrifice with knight h5 coming, but
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying things. I don't know if it's true. But yeah, queen c3 keeps that black rook out, eliminates all counterplay.
Okay, just play B3.
Yeah, play b3, even queen c3 hits e5.
Yeah, B3, rook E3, knight D2, knight C4 even if needed.
Yeah,
No, this is just nice.
it's over. It's
Okay,
all
what
going
do
to
we
be over.
have here? We have Fabiano against... oh, yeah, this should be a draw. let's see what happened in that game.
Yeah, so we were saying there was this pressure on the knight.
So he took,
and
actually.
so now all the pieces just fall off the board. Takes,
Everything
takes,
comes off,
and
F3 and-
this endgame's nothing.
Despite the outside pass pawn, there's nothing really.
Yeah, no way to press here. In fact, yeah, Mamedyarov
Azeri
just
offer
gives
a
up
draw.
on b3.
So that puts us at 7.5.
7.5. We need half a point out of 2 games.
Half a point away. Can we get a half a
Can
point?
we do it?
From two positions. Can we get a half a point?
Yeah, and now queen c2 does come on the board in Jeffrey's game.
Oh, Jeffrey's game. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So okay, so queen c2 here as well, and
yeah.
a5. Okay, what's
just
the simplest?
queen takes c5.
Takes c5. Queen
takes pawns off the board.
and
Queen takes
there's
e5.
no way to lose this. There's no way to lose this.
I mean, maybe
Unless some
queen
accident,
takes c5 isn't the best winning try, but we don't need a win. We just need a draw.
Well, actually, I like even knight e5, queen b2 takes, put the rook behind the pass pawn idea.
Yeah, I
and
think
then just push it.
Knight e5's a bit better. Keeps this
This
e4
is
pawn defended
completely
for the
winning.
moment,
And then how is Jeffrey doing? I would like to see Jeffrey win.
So we did see this queen c2 line come on the board as we were expecting.
Yeah,
so
queen
queen c2, knight
queen
c1,
h7.
king f8, and now knight c3. I like this move quite a bit.
Closing down the file and getting some back rank ideas
if bishop,
now on d1.
If bishop takes c3, I think just queen takes c4.
Yeah, or just take back with a pawn. Because you
but-
don't have rook c3, rook d1.
But if bishop c3, queen c4, aren't we just winning a
Queen
piece?
c4, and then just take on c1.
Yeah.
That's perfect, yeah. Yeah, I think Jeffrey is just winning here. I think he's just coming through, with a solid play.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jeffrey's just winning a full piece now,
Yeah.
which
Well,
puts him up a rook after
could,
winning.
This is going to make the score nice.
Yeah, it'll
We
look
could
good.
Possibly win this too, and then make it 9.5. Not quite 10, but okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It was a scary. There were a few scary moments,
Once or twice. That halfway point being level still.
We still need
is
half
dangerous.
a point. We still need half a point.
I've said before, I think these final rounds are where the archbishops really shine with the head-to-head matchups. So bishop c3, I thought queen takes
Queen
c4.
c4. You like queen c4,
Looks
yeah?
really strong. Looks really strong.
So make sure we're not missing any tactics. The bishop before, bishop c5. Knight d2, we even have rook takes d2.
Yeah, there's
Takes queen
everything.
c1.
There's everything.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, though, I like this taking his time, being sure, making absolutely sure that he sees everything. Because once again, there's takes on e5 to think about.
Wesley So is watching and commenting, and he's complimenting Jeffrey's opening choice. He says QGA was a good choice.
And then he says Scandinavian was awful, which I
Yeah.
think you were in agreement
Yeah,
with.
oh, yeah. Yeah, that was.
Of course, just a half point to win the match, and so
We need
Jeffrey
half point. from
looks to be
two-
scoring a full point.
From 2 winning positions,
Yeah.
all we need is a half a point.
I think it'll be doable.
All
so
we need, Caleb, half a point.
we
here.
did see queen takes c5 from Leinier, and now this e pawn is falling as well, and that's 2 extra pawns. It's just 2 extra pawns.
Leinier is taking his time.
Yeah. Probably keeping an eye on Jeffrey's game as well, knowing, trying to see, okay, all right.
Most important thing, don't flag.
Yes.
Don't flag.
Plenty of time. He does have a time edge for the first time in the match, I think. And just queen takes e5 looks good enough to me. Queen takes e5, rook a1 to follow, and this a pawn will tell a story of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Just liquidate the queens.
Yeah, and we do see queen e5 from Leinier. It's tough, actually, to avoid the queen trade now.
Because the b8 is hanging.
Yeah, the rook on b8 is under pressure. And so we do see the queens come off the board. And now rook b5, can we just play a6? Well, I guess no. Can we just play rook a1? No. Not in time, so we have to defend our pawn. So knight c4 makes a lot of sense. And now the rook attacks. Can you keep winning chances?
I think
somehow?
e5 I like here.
Yeah, e5 puts this pawn on a defended square. And trading the knights, I think, should be winning for white. So if the knight moves, now rook e4 will defend the knight without putting white in an uncomfortable pin.
Yeah, I think this is a nice move. I do think he could have played a little bit more cleanly, like earlier, like with knight takes c5.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
think-
queen c5.
Although, I mean, match situation, a
Yeah.
draw is good enough,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is
No, I mean,
the
I
clearest
know.
way. Breaking news, Jeffery has won his game.
Fantastic.
And that brings us to 8.5 points, clear over the 8-point threshold we needed. We will be going to Oslo in the finals.
Congratulations to the whole team.
Yes, congratulations.
Manager, the
congratulations to you as well, Var, and Archbishop yourself.
Congratulations to everybody, all the fans and all the players. So we have made it to finals now.
Yes, we are going to Oslo, where both the semifinal match and the final match are going to be played. Of course, the players thus far have just been playing online, but they will be face-to-face in Norway. So we'll see them actually still playing on chess.com, but with monitors set up right next to each other, kind of in the professional gaming kind of setup.
Yeah. So here we have rook e4. Yeah, this is just technically winning position here. And
f4 will solidify the e5 pawn, and then 2 pawns extra. You can just play a6 and start getting this pawn.
Maybe even f4, f5, and e6, get the pass pawn rolling.
Yeah, pass pawns on both sides of the board.
So he wants to bring the knight to c6.
Yeah, I think we can simply play f4 here, and then respond to knight c6 with a6, and then the rook is actually a little bit stuck on c5. So Leinier now just playing for some extra points. We have officially won the match, and will be going to Oslo, Norway for the finals, as we've been saying. Definitely, a strong match from the India Yogis, though. This last round
they put up a very good fight. Yeah,
it's where it all fell apart for them.
Yeah, just this last round, I don't know, just somehow Adiban making a quick draw, and then
Shock not getting it done either.
Shock didn't have a very good day.
Yeah, bad day for Shock.
Yeah.
But Fabi, in the last round, Fabi just never really gave him a chance. And that's going to happen sometimes. Black against Fabiano Caruana, it's tough to press for.
You know that, Fabiano doesn't want to push too hard. He's just never going to lose. So
we do see f4. Knight c6 is the natural follow-up.
Knight c6, but I think there might be like a5. a6,
well, yeah,
sorry.
a6 was my move as well. Okay, now king f8, probably rook d4 makes some sense. But no, then knight c6.
So just bring the king in first.
King f2. Okay, rook b5 relieves the pressure on the knight, though. So this probably gives us some more options. Now maybe, I don't know if I want to play e6, so maybe f5. Just like f5, g4, and start pushing. Okay, rook e2, but now after rook c5, are you coming back to
the threat is rook b2 now to trade.
But yeah, rook c5, do you just repeat, or do you play rook c2 maybe?
Oh, if we play rook c2, I wonder, knight c6, then we play a6.
Yes. And then you're actually threatening to play something like knight e3 and force a trade of the rooks.
Yeah. No, I like rook c2.
Okay, and it comes on the board.
Probably king e7 has to be played. And just king e3.
And king e7, king e3, get the king over, and then eventually... Okay, so knight c6, but no, this does allow knight e3, I think.
No, a6.
Well, yeah, a6 and okay. Well, yeah, now with the knight on a7, the king can come through. King e3.
So, okay, there are many ways to win here. Knight e3, knight e3 is one idea.
Yeah, knight e3, well, rook a5. I don't see why we should allow this.
I was thinking just to go knight f5 there, rook a6 and rook c7 with a knight d6.
Okay,
that's winning, but maybe there's something even better than that. But
oh, so knight e3 does come. I guess after king e3, there's rook c6 to attack the pawn. So rook c7 first, and now I think this knight f5 idea is coming through. Yeah, knight d6, we'll hit f7.
The knight cannot move. There's a back rank mate. If you play g6, knight takes h6. And you basically have no moves. I can even play like h4, h5, or g4 and gain space. Knight d6 is immediate.
I mean, rook b7 also threatens a checkmate. There's so many ways
there
to
are no
break
moves
through
just to make sure.
And yeah, it's kind of instructive. You see Leinier not holding on to the a-pawn for dear life. Instead, with this line, he uses it as a decoy to get the black pieces out of play, and now he's going to win on the king's side. So what to do here? Maybe just knight d6.
Knight d6,
F6 is forced, but now knight back to F5 is just winning G7.
Yeah, now back to F5 is good. Another option is maybe even just King E3.
Yeah, and then pass D pawn. Oh my goodness, he takes on a. Okay, so this is also winning. If takes the knight, then F7 check, and the knights will trade. And now H6 is falling. The black king is getting checkmated. Yeah. But Leinier down to seconds again. Don't flag. Don't flag, Leinier. Go fast. Faster, Leinier. Oh my, play a move. Okay, all right. Getting nervous. Getting nervous. Not that it matters.
Knight takes pawn. Let's go, Leinier. Let's go.
Takes the pawn. 2 extra pawns now. The pressure on A7
Take
is
on
enough.
F6, Leinier. Let's go.
3 extra pawns. And maybe it's time to resign for Hare Krishna. Rook D7, a nice move, boxing out the black knight. Keeping an eye on all those jumps. And now H4, H5, H6, H7 will get the job done. Of course, Leinier just repeating, gaining some increment there. And now all the pawns come up the board.
Let's push.
Pushes F5 first. Yeah, Rook D5 hits the knight. And I don't know why Hare Krishna's still playing, but we'll stick it through to the ends. Rook C5, and now G4 probably, King F4 even. G4 to follow.
H4.
Just get the pawns up the board, end this game, end the suffering. Rook B5, yeah, no, King F5, Rook E5.
Don't
Nice
blunder, Knight
triangle
D3.
maneuver. Don't. Oh my God! Oh boy! Down the exchange now. Still totally winning though, but it's a little silly. Maybe it's a little silly. I think F7 was actually playable there. Oh, but no. Then yeah, maybe you could play F7, but there's a trick with a skewer in the end.
Wow, it's interesting. Hare Krishna just doesn't want to give up.
Okay, he throws in the towel finally.
9.5, Caleb.
9.5 to
10.
6.5.
Your
Your prediction, of
my
course?
prediction, close to
10-6.
my prediction. I was thinking 10-6, but 9.5 again. Congratulations to the players,
absolutely.
to the managers,
you know,
to everybody.
Overall, I think I do want to mention the Archbishops undefeated throughout the regular season.
Absolutely.
Continuing on to the playoffs.
Strong performance in the last round. Jeffery Xiong coming through, and Dominguez. You know, Dominguez finished with 2 wins after that the clock accident.
Yeah,
you know?
So he came through, definitely bounced back.
He beat 2 of their best players, Mamedyarov and Hare Krishna.
Yes, the
Fantastic.
top 2 boards. I do want to say, though, I think once again, Wesley So is the core of this team. He has held it together throughout every match, and he did so today as well.
Yeah,
scoring
3 out of 4, right?
Yeah, something like that, something
3 out of
crazy
4.
strong.
Fantastic, and now Archbishops are in the finals. And
Yes.
the dates are, I think, May 20...
Yeah, so
right?
end of May. End of
yeah.
May. Join us once again for the semifinals and the finals. I don't know. Maybe we'll have on-site coverage. Maybe we won't.
We'll see, yeah.
But definitely keep an eye on the Archbishops. We're hoping to win it all this year.
Absolutely. 2 more matches away from winning the
Yes. That's all it takes.
2020 season.
Undefeated so far. Hoping it will continue till the end. Well, thank you all very much for joining us here. This has been Caleb Denby and Grandmaster Akobian giving you the live coverage of the Archbishops. We will be continuing on to the finals in Norway. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Congrats again to the players, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks.
The St. Louis Chess Club hosts the 2020 U.S. Championship and U.S. Women's Championship April 8th through the 25th. These national championship events feature 12 of the strongest chess players in America. Competitors will battle for a combined prize fund of nearly $300,000, qualification into the World Championship cycle, and the coveted title of U.S. Champion. First round of play begins April 10th at the St. Louis Chess Club. Watch live at the club or at uschesschamps.com.
Norway, the chess capital of Europe. Meet and greet and simul with Magnus Carlsen. It's the Pro Chess League Finals at Chess Party 2020. Caruana, So, Botez, Hammer, Rudolph, Chess Bras, an open Fisher Random chess tournament. you be part of the world's biggest chess party?
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club.